KTV Sports presents the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network's Game of the Week. Today it's a conference matchup featuring the Dewhawks of Loras College and your Nebraska Wesleyan University Prairie Wolves. This game is made possible by Lincoln Electric System. It's your electricity. Own it. Union Bank. You belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University. Now let's take you out to Able Stadium.
It's a great day for college football in Lincoln today, especially on homecoming and Hall of Fame weekend here at Nebraska Wesleyan. The Prairie Wolves taking on Loras College. Hello, everyone. I'm Jeff Moats along with Nate Rohr here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network. Nate, as we come into this game today, the big thing for Nebraska Wesleyan and what they got to do in being able to control this game is step up on defense.
It's been a tough year so far for Nebraska Wesleyan defensively. They lost 3 starters in their secondary, and they face a Loras team that is very high-powered on offense, averaging 41 points a game to lead the conference. And last week against Buena Vista, they put up 73 and over 600 yards of total offense. So this is a Dewhawks team that's very explosive offensively, and Nebraska Wesleyan's going to have to answer the challenge on the defensive side of the ball.
Well, defense last year was no problem in this matchup here at Able Stadium. Nebraska Wesleyan won this game over Loras 51-27. You may remember that recovery for a touchdown that Tyler Sorensen had to seal the deal in that game. Well, as we look at today's offensive setup here for Nebraska Wesleyan, the one thing they got to do is just limit the turnovers.
Jonathan Curdy, the sophomore quarterback for the Prairie Wolves, is doing a much better job in limiting turnovers. He threw 5 picks in game 1. Sophomore, young guy trying to settle in, and he has settled in the last 4 games, throwing 4 interceptions. Meanwhile, Loras doesn't turn over the ball much, and it would be good for Nebraska Wesleyan to find their first interception of the year to try and swing this game their direction.
I mentioned this is homecoming. It's also Hall of Fame weekend. Listen to this interesting little fact. Nebraska Wesleyan, all-time 0-4 going into ball games. This is number 8. This is the 8th time in history that they've been 0-4 entering homecoming. The first time that's happened in 40 years since 1977. There's no doubt that this is a big game today, especially when pride is on the line.
You expect a big crowd for homecoming. You expect to have your best crowd of the year. Great day for football. You want to put your best product out on the field, especially with some great alumni back, so I'm sure the Prairie Wolves will have their best effort here today.
Let's look at Loras College. You know, the one thing that really stands out about Loras, not only with their offense and their explosive offense, how about the size? They're about 4 inches taller and about 35 pounds heavier compared to the guys on the other side for Nebraska Wesleyan. As
you look at Loras' stats through the year, this is a team that kind of wants to get it done through the air, and yet as you look at the depth charts and how these teams line up, they have an advantage in the trenches. It's going to be tough for Wesleyan to hold up against their running game, so it wouldn't be surprising if the Dewhawks keep it on the ground a little more in this game as opposed to the first 4 games of the year where they've been a little more pass happy.
And you mentioned earlier, Nate, that they had over 600 yards of offense in that win over Buena Vista last week. Nebraska Wesleyan's got to find a way to really stop that, and that's going to be the big challenge.
It's going to be a big challenge for a team that has really been decimated in the secondary. As we mentioned, they've not been able to make the big play defensively to this point in the year, but no time like the present to change it for the Prairie Wolves.
And the one thing to point out, too, that Nebraska Wesleyan on defense has not had an interception at all this year. They've had some fumble recoveries, but no interceptions through at least 4 games. Let's see if that can change today. Key players, Jonathan Curdy for Nebraska Wesleyan, the quarterback. He has improved quite a bit since his first start of the season, and we also talked about Shaka Taylor, who's been bouncing back from injuries that he's suffered not only this last year, but earlier in the year. And Shaka Taylor, look for him to be kind of a key force in that backfield. And on defense, Dakota Buss.
He has been all over the field for this Nebraska Wesleyan team, more than doubling the number 2 guy in tackles. The bad news is he's a safety, so it means a lot of players are getting down the field against Wesleyan. But once they're getting back there, Buss is able to make the tackle, and he has really helped Wesleyan just keep things where they have been this year. Without his efforts, it could be a lot worse for the Prairie Wolves.
On the other side of the football for Loras College, their quarterback Bob Kelly, one of the top guys in the conference. He'll look for Josh Schulte as one of his top receivers today. Look for that combo to be in effect as well. And, of course, Brophy on defense, quite the linebacker for this team.
Tough linebacker to lead this Loras College defense, and they're probably buried a little bit in the headlines because of what they did offensively last week, but I'm sure they're looking for a big performance this week to get their own headlines.
Should be a good game today here at Able Stadium. Can Nebraska Wesleyan bounce back and get their first win of the season? We'll find out here on Homecoming and Hall of Fame Day here at Able Stadium. Nebraska Wesleyan, Loras College, the kickoff is next on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University, NWU.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Welcome back here to Able Stadium here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network, along with Nate Rohr and our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew. I'm Jeff Moats. There you see the whiteout shot here as we get ready for kickoff. Nebraska Wesleyan is set to receive here to begin this ball game. They will go left to right as we see it here at Able Stadium, and Loras College will kick away. They will go right to left, and Loras College will receive to begin the second half. There you see the current conditions. Partly cloudy, 79. There is a slight chance of rain this afternoon. Winds are out of the southeast at 15. And the 79-degree temperature, by the way, that's the expected high. It's 73 here in Lincoln as we get ready for kickoff this afternoon. A rather decent late September into October type day here in Lincoln.
Yeah, about how you draw it up for a game where you have everybody back on campus for homecoming. Good day for the Prairie Wolves to pick up their first win of the year.
So Mason Quigley, there you see on your screen, number 1 for Loras. He will kick away. And Nebraska Wesleyan will have Tate Schmaderer down there. Check that. Skurjanik is down there. Along with him will be Jacob Van Loo or Garris Carr. Again, these are dual numbers that Nebraska Wesleyan has. Garris Carr down there to return. And Skurjanik, James Skurjanik, who caught a touchdown pass in the last home matchup here against Coe College 2 weeks ago. And again, we're finding out some of these guys that are starting to fill in some of these spots from guys that occupied these skill positions in years past. And Nebraska Wesleyan's got one of the more experienced lines on both sides of the football. Again, the challenge has been skill position players, getting them adjusted to being more active out there, being a part of the first team offense or defense. And so far, Wesleyan, they've taken some bumps along the way, but there have been some signs of improvement as well. So Quigley will kick away. And the wind is so strong, he's going to have a holder. Here we go, an end-over-end kick, and it's going to be Carr who gets it in the end zone, and he'll take a knee for the automatic touchback, and the Prairie Wolves will begin offense at their own 25-yard line. And now we get to see Jonathan Curdy. Again, Curdy today, since game 1, after throwing 5 interceptions in that game, has settled down considerably. In the last 3 games, he's only thrown 4 interceptions. Now, considering from where he was in game 1, mind you.
Much improved, and keep an eye toward the top of your screen. Bryce Darner averaging over 21 yards a catch.
There you see Curdy Taylor and Landon Tiemann as the fullback. And you mentioned Darner. There's Bradley Pelkey and Caleb Conway as your receivers here, as Pelkey will go in motion. And now Curdy, drop back pass, and Pelkey did not complete the catch. I think he was thinking about heading upfield that time, Nate. instead of completing the catch.
I think you're exactly right. He was very open in that left flat. And for Jonathan Curdy, a sophomore quarterback, that's a grab you got to make as a junior wide receiver. Pelkey's caught 12 balls this year and should have been number 13 right there.
And that would have been an easy maybe gain up along the far side of the field here. 2nd and 10. There you see the rest of that offensive line. McEwen over there, Mueller, Lamarche among others on that line. Little zone read here as Curdy pump fakes. Pass is going to be caught. And reception up to about the 35-yard line. Jackson Hines made the catch that time. Hines with the grab. And Hines is the place kicker and punter out of Scotts Bluff.
Versatile player, catches passes. Kind of a floating pass there by Curdy, but Hines was able to find a hole in the zone and sit in it and pull that thing in for a 9-yard gain.
So Arlie Myers and Darner are the splits to the top of your screen. 2 receivers here at the bottom on the right side. Taylor in the backfield. Curdy will send Myers in motion. And here it is. Counterplay. Left side, Taylor trying to fight up to get yards as he close to a first down. Loras says he did not get the first down.
What a job coming up from the linebacker spot by Chris Miller as he was able to come upfield and string that play out and get on Taylor. And Shaka Taylor, who's had 3 100-yard rushing games in a row, not able to pick up a yard there that Wesleyan sorely needed. And now the Prairie Wolves will have to punt it away.
You may have seen there on the screen a moment ago, Nate, and for everybody else, that Shaka Taylor's got that left elbow bandaged up and wrapped up with all sorts of padding because he hurt that elbow back in game 1 of this season here in Lincoln. And the punt is blocked. Hines' punt is blocked, and they're going to mark it down. Flags come out. It is recovered outside the goal line at the Wesleyan 1, but penalty flags on the play.
But it looked like the block of the punt was clean there, Jeff, as they were able to surge in there. They brought the heat
recovered
in a
by
big
number 42, Spencer Lawson,
in pursuit of that punt. And they were able to get back there, though we'll sort out the penalty. John O'Brien was the man who got a hand on it.
It's a sideline warning against Nebraska Wesleyan. So the penalty flag is a sideline warning against the Prairie Wolves, and now the Dewhawks have got probably the best field positioning that you're going to get at any time in the ball game at the Wesleyan 1. So we'll get our chance here to see Bob Kelly, the quarterback, the senior, come in here and run this offense. Isaac Cloward is the tailback. They'll go to that pistol setup. And Cloward gets the carry and takes it right into the end zone. Touchdown, Loras.
Not the start you had in mind for the Prairie Wolves, as you give up a block punt on a 3-and-out, and then the ball sitting at the 1-yard line, and Cloward able to surge in there for his team-leading 9th touchdown of the year. And again, not the start Wesleyan wanted as you get another look at this touchdown run. Good blocking on that left edge. They were able to wash down the left defensive end, Sorensen, and that opened the play up in a big way for the touchdown.
And Mason Quigley will attempt the extra point here for the Dewhawks, rather. There are Cohawks and there are Dewhawks. These are the Dewhawks. And the extra point attempt is up, and it is good. So barely 2 minutes into this game. We got 13-18 left, and Loras strikes first. 7-0 over the Prairie Wolves. Back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
We're back here at Able Stadium, and a quick start here in Nebraska Wesleyan on their first drive. They go 3 and out, a blocked punt, recovered at the 1. Loras gets it into the end zone. Isaac Cloward takes it in from 1 yard out, and that gives the Dewhawks an early 7-0 start here against the Wolves.
Really just a bad start there, not able to pick up the 3rd and 1, a dropped pass, and then Loras sent the house on that punt, and they were able to get there and block that thing, and that set up a very easy scoring chance for Loras, which they took advantage of. They've got to be playing with a lot of confidence right now, putting up 73 last week.
Well, and you got to go back to a year ago. This team was one of the bottom of the cellar teams in the Iowa Conference. Again, Wesleyan won this game 51-27 a year ago here in Lincoln. And compare that to today is night and day. And there is no doubt that this is a much improved football team. And if they're one of the leading offenses in the conference after being toward the bottom end of the conference a year ago, I mean, what does that say? I mean, there's a lot of improvement, a lot of good things happening with this team.
Been able to get a lot of good work out of Bob Kelly, their senior quarterback, who threw for 300 last year against the Prairie Wolves, but this year even better, hitting 68% of his passes, 801 yards, and all he's had to do is hand the ball off as the rough start continues. The chain is acting up on the far side of the field. It appears like they've had a malfunction with that.
Well, there's all sorts of things that have probably gone awry today for a lot of folks, and that's one thing that they need to get straightened out. That's an important part of the football game. You got to get that chain straightened out, and they're working on that right now. But again, this Dewhawks team, again, we can't stress enough how, even during pregame, Nate, we were noticing when they were getting their warm-ups done, how confident they seemed. I mean, they were very energetic. I mean, and nothing to take away from Wesleyan. Wesleyan was very energetic, of course. This is a big game since it's homecoming and Hall of Fame weekend, but you just had the sense that this Loras team, this is not the same team that we saw a year ago in Lincoln. A completely different attitude, mental approach to this whole thing. And, I think last week proved that, if you can rack up 73 points, Buena Vista is a pretty respectable program too, but if you rack up 73 points, obviously you're doing something right, and things are working for you offensively. The defense here early on, we've seen the defense work out pretty well too, and now they're getting a new set of chains here. They're going to bring out a new set of chains, it looks like, so they can get at least this current set changed out. In the meantime, let's take a look at the lineups here for the defense for Loras College. There you see Larson at the cornerback. The safety is Shepard. Ollie is the safety, too. The other cornerback is Algrim. And there you see the interior linebacker there, Bob Brophy. He's a guy that we talked about a little bit during pregame. He is a guy on defense that can be very sound. And there you see Giles, Turner-Smith, and among others there in that defensive setup. And there goes the kick out of the end zone for the automatic touchback. So Loras with a 7-0 start here, barely 2 minutes in to this first quarter.
And if you're Nebraska Wesleyan, you have to just stay with your game plan. You're only down 1 score, no need to panic, and you were able to get very close to the first down. You just weren't able to execute on 3rd and 1. So stick with your game plan, and hopefully you're able to pick up the 3rd and 1 this time.
And that offensive line is going to be very protective, too, as Curdy works out of the gun. Taylor to his left here on 1st and 10. And now Taylor working out to the edge. Good blocking out ahead as Taylor collides and takes it up to about the 30-yard line. Got good help out front that time from Skurjanik on the right side of the field.
Also got a nice block on the edge by Myers to seal off that edge, and that allowed him to pick up the extra 4 yards because at the outset, at least, it looked like Loras had gotten some penetration, but Myers' block on the edge really sealed it off and gave him an alley to the right.
Splits each side are Pelkey and Darner. And Curdy fakes the handoff, looks down to the far side, and Conway, the tight end, the intended target, goes beyond his reach. Incomplete. Good coverage downfield that time from Riley Larson. And so this will bring up a third, and we'll call it 5 here for the Prairie Wolves.
Tough throw there for the quarterback, Curdy, as he had to throw it from the opposite hash mark on an out route and had to get it 15 yards or so down the field and ended up throwing it into double coverage. He threw it in an area where only his guy could get it, but it was a difficult throw that Curdy was unable to make.
So they'll go trips on the left side, one here on the short side on the right. What's being shown here, Curdy in the pocket, over the middle, caught by Skurjanek, gets the first down at the 35, cutting out to about the 39-yard line before he was wrapped up by Walter Ollie that time. And a good little pickup for the Prairie Wolves as they sustain the drive.
Able to run after the catch to pick up the first down was Skurjanek as he was coming across on the crossing route, and had he been tackled right at the point of the catch, he would not have had the first down, but he was in an open space, able to pick up the needed yardage, and Wesleyan with their first down of the game.
So they'll spread it out a little bit, kind of that half pistol setup there as Taylor between the tackles gets a crease, and he takes it all the way to the 48-yard line toward the 49. Nice little pickup that time for Shaka Taylor, about a 9-yard gain.
Excellent blocking in the middle of the line. Mueller, the center, Davis, the left guard. Just a wide open chasm up the gut. They were able to gash Loras for 9 there. This is a Wesleyan team that hasn't done a whole lot running the football, only one rush TD all year. So hoping to get that running game going to open up the pass.
Second and short. And they'll give it to Taylor. First down across the 50. Tries to elude a tackle, and he's finally taken down by the ankle that time. Logan Shepard coming in there to make the stop. And Shaka Taylor with a first down and a few extra yards into the Loras 47.
Feel Taylor starting to fall into a little bit of a rhythm, getting nice blocking on that right edge. Kitazano on that right tackle, opening things up along with LaMarche, the right guard, and able to pick up the first down. And again, Wesleyan able to get some rhythm in the offense and also chew up some clock against this tough Loras offense.
Closing in on the 11-minute mark of this first quarter. Hines in motion, jet sweep, goes to Hines, goes around left, trying to cut back in, and he's going to be stopped, probably about a half-yard pickup, if that.
Play was pretty well fouled up by penetration. I think that was Miller, was able to shoot in there and string him out, and then he got a little help from the rest of the Loras defense to finish him off, but it wasn't particularly well blocked on that left tackle, which resulted in the play not going for more than 1 yard.
Second, and we'll call it a long 9. Still at the 47. In between there and the 46 in Loras territory. And here is Taylor between the tackles. Taylor taken down at the 40-yard line. Remember, again, Shaka Taylor with that left elbow you see all wrapped up. And one thing that Loras may try to take advantage of is the simple fact that he's got that and try to jar the ball loose if he's carrying the ball in that arm. But I think Taylor's done a pretty good job of being more protective of that football by holding the ball in his right arm. And still, though, you need to be very, very careful of that. As Pelkey is split here on the right, Darner on the left, far side on the top of your screen. Here is Taylor, gets the first down, and boy, that leg strength pays off as he takes it inside the 35 down to the 33-yard line.
They just keep feeding Taylor, who is just chewing up yardage right now, 32 yards on 6 carries. This was a Wesleyan team that was only picking up 3.2 yards a rush, but at this point, they've been able to push around this Loras College defensive line. They've been able to really chew them up on this drive, which started at their own 25.
So this will be at the 33 from the left hash mark. Closing in on 9 minutes to go, first quarter, out of the eye. And the handoff, nope, play action here. Curdy looking downfield. He's got Skurjanek, and he's going to be tripped up inside the 5, taken down at about the 4-yard line. Finally brought down on the play by Riley Larson of Loras.
29 yards on the pass, and that's what a good running game can do for you, is set up the play action pass. And you saw Loras crash on that ball. The deep ball was open. Single coverage by Riley Larson, not enough on Skirjanik, and now the Prairie Wolves knocking on the door.
So a 1st and goal from the 4 of Loras. Setting up in the I formation. Again, Pelkey, the wide out, down toward the bottom of the screen or toward your right. Little play action toss. Pelkey in the corner of the end zone. Did he make the catch? No. He was outside of the end zone. The ball going to be marked down at the 1, a 3-yard pickup on that pass play.
More play action there from Wesleyan, and I'm sure their thought was Loras was going to be crashing hard on the run. 1st and goal at the 4. A spectacular catch made by Pelkey over there, but not quite able to stick it over the goal line. But Wesleyan with 3 shots to pick up 1 yard. I like their chances, particularly as well as they've run the ball.
2nd and goal at the 1. They'll send a man in motion. Taylor trying to fight through traffic. Lunges in. Did he clear the plane? And as they uncover the pile, I don't think he got in. It's close.
Taylor plows up the middle, just short of the goal line.
I mean, he was taking it right at the teeth of that Loras defense, Nate. And he tried to stretch that ball across as much as possible. So it's going to be right at the goal line. 3rd and less than a yard to go.
As we get another look at it, Jeff, a lot of penetration there by the Loras defense. You see Logan Shepard, the safety in there, and he was the 2nd guy with a shot on the running back, Taylor.
Big 3rd down here for the Wolves. Taylor, carry, touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. So Shaka Taylor from a yard out, and that completes the 75-yard drive. And with 7:15 to go here in quarter number 1 at homecoming, the Prairie Wolves get on the scoreboard.
Taylor's 7th carry of the drive for 32 yards. He was really the bell cow on that drive for Wesleyan. Great mix on that drive by the Prairie Wolves. Passing, play action passing, and a heavy dose of Shaka Taylor. And if they're to win this game, I think that's how their offense has to look.
You got to keep that up as Jackson Hines nails the extra point here with 7:15 to go in the opening quarter here on homecoming and Hall of Fame Day. We're tied at 7 on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences. Designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University. NWU.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on LNK TV Sports and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
We're back here at Able Stadium here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network, also on LNK TV. I'm Jeff Moats with Nate Rohr. Glad to have you this afternoon from Able Stadium. We're tied at 7 here on homecoming as the Prairie Wolves will kick away here, and picked up at the 5-yard line on the return is Walter Ollie. And Ollie fighting through traffic and finally going to be brought down on the play on the return by Justin Hall of Nebraska Wesleyan, the freshman out of Raymond Central.
You can see Ollie's moves there. He's a pretty dangerous kick returner, over 300 yards in kick return yardage this year on 11 returns. And so a good job by Wesleyan to bottle him up, even though Loras gets pretty good field position here.
Let's look at the defensive setup there. You see Cordes, McKitchen, Hoovendick out of Beatrice, Dakota Buss as well, Newgard, Bricker, Van Loo, the linebackers. There you see Tyler Sorensen out of Lincoln Northeast, Shook, Bednar, and Stolpe are on the line. And now Bob Kelly in the pocket looking up far side, and there was some contact, flag thrown, and that looked pretty evident of a pass interference call as Travis Newgard had a handle on the wide receiver that time.
Have a full pop
That's
flag
Ike
on
Cloward.
the field.
Yeah, that was pretty clear defensive pass interference as Cloward was set up in the right split end position, and he was held up by Newgard.
There you see Kuhn, Cloward, and there you see Kelly, the quarterback, in that backfield. Schulte Belkow and Castoro. Those are the wideouts. There you see the line. Elliott and Heinrichs among them. Shanahan in there too for Loras College. The Dewhawks. 1st and 10 on the 35 now. And now Kelly looking upfield. There's contact, and Huvendick had contact that time on the intended target, Schulte. But Schulte didn't get the break that time. Good coverage by Huvendick.
Physical coverage there by Huvendick, but as you mentioned, not enough to draw the flag, and that'll be a big matchup today. Schulte, 4th in the conference in receiving yards, leading receiver, 25 catches, 387 yards.
2nd and 10. And a carry that time. Right through the middle, past the 40 to about the 42-yard line. And it's Cloward who got the carry that time for Loras College.
They'll have to keep Cloward involved in this game, running the ball as well as trying to throw it to him, and they've already gotten him 3 attempted touches.
3rd down and 4. Pass far side, caught at the 47 of Nebraska Wesleyan. Schulte made the grab. Huvendick threw him out of bounds, but a flag on the play. That's come out.
And it's on the near side of the field to us, the far side of the
flag
field
on the play.
from the play. So I'll be interested to see what it is. And the call is a legal man downfield, and you have to guess it was somebody on the left end of the Loras offense. And somebody who was good 30 yards away from where that ball was. So a break for Nebraska Wesleyan, and that'll set up a tough 3rd down here.
With 6:31 left in this first quarter, and again, a Wesleyan defense trying to tune in on this offense from Loras. Kelly. Play action here. Toward the near side, going to be caught at the 39, 1st down. Reception made on the near side by Belkow, the wide receiver out of Spring Grove, Illinois.
Big gain there. Belkow was double covered as well. He should be. Of course, Loras has so many weapons. But what a throw there by Bob Kelly as he was able to throw it beyond the double coverage. And Belkow able to beat it for the big gain down to the 27-yard line.
It's those big pass plays that could come back and haunt Wesleyan. Let's see if they can try to match up on defense, which they do on the receiver routes here on 1st and 10. Handoff going to be given that time. Cloward gets the carry, takes it inside the 25 to the 24. He gets about a 4-yard pickup on the play before the Prairie Wolves make the stop. So the defense, again, being tested. Now, they were able to kind of capitalize a little bit after the setback earlier in the drive on the penalty. But that big pass play is starting to make a big difference here. 2nd and 6 as Kelly works out of the pistol. Looking to throw. Got a guy open far side. 10-5 into the end zone. Touchdown, Loras. Mikey Castoro makes the catch. No problem from 24 yards out. There was nobody on him. They were kind of doing a little bit of zone coverage on that far side from what we saw, Nate.
It looked like Newgard had handed him off. He was the closest guy to the area, and Newgard held off thinking that he had safety help behind him. Either he didn't or the safety wasn't there, but at any rate, the coverage badly blown. Castoro with an easy 24-yard touchdown catch.
And here is Mason Quigley to attempt the point after here for Loras. And the kick is up, and it is good. So with 5:29 to go, or 5:25 to go in this first quarter, Loras takes control again. They're up 14-7.
University 7, Loras College 14.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in, and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
We're back here at Able Stadium on Homecoming and Hall of Fame weekend on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network, being seen on LNK TV. 14-7, as you see, in favor of Loras College from Dubuque, Iowa. one of two schools in the Iowa Conference that are from Dubuque. Of course, the University of Dubuque being the other. But the Dewhawks trying to make a statement here after what happened a year ago here at Lincoln where they fell 51-27.
An impressive drive there by the Dewhawks. 5 plays, 74 yards, $1:43 off the clock. And Kelly on that drive, 2 for 3 for 59 yards.
That one going to go into the back part of the end zone, and Garris Carr takes the knee. And now Wesleyan will begin from their own 25. Now, last drive, very solid. Makes a pass and run. Well balanced, well executed. A great finish. They did a little bit of a grind it out. They need to keep this up if they want to stay in this ball game today with a high-powered Loras ball club, who again on defense is just as tough like they are on offense. Pistol formation here on 1st and 10. And Curdy going to the outside, and the pass is complete. And now the one official says it's incomplete. So the pass to the far side to Derek Curtis out of Lincoln Northeast is incomplete.
Another long throw there for Curdy as you get another look at it. And just not quite enough on that pass to get it there complete, but the receiver was open. So that may be a play that Wesleyan goes back to.
In between the hashes, still at the 25, 2nd and 10. 2 splits each side for the Wolves. Hines in motion. Curdy looking to throw. Short screen toss. Taylor gets it. Makes a hurdle up around the 28 to about the 29, close to the 30. I think they're going to spot him in between the 29 and 30.
Good job by the offensive lineman, Kyle Kunsel and Jacob LaMarche, to get out in front of Taylor to try and block that open. And Wesleyan just trying to get the ball to Taylor any way they can. He's clearly their biggest offensive weapon.
And they'll spread it out here on 3rd, and we'll call it 6. Curdy over the middle. Pelkey lost control, and it's intercepted. It's picked off that time. Alex Wernemont was the guy that came out with a pick. Pelkey could not complete the catch. It bounced off his hands, and Wernemont was there to intercept the ball, and Loras gets it back.
Hot pass over the middle here from Curdy, who is under a bit of heat, but that ball was right in the hands of Pelkey. And unfortunately, Pelkey's had 2 drops in this game, and that one directly leads to an interception and puts this very strong Loras offense right back on the field.
I believe that might be the interception number 10 on the season here for Jonathan Curdy. So 1st and 10. This is from the 36 of Wesleyan. Pistol formation. Little zone read, drop back pass. Over the middle, catch made as Huvendick puts the clamps on the wide receiver Belkow that time. And Belkow with a great grab down to the Wesleyan 5-yard line.
Right out of coaching 101, right after they give you the whistle. When you get the ball back on a turnover, it's a good idea to fire it down the field, and a play action fake opened that route and allowed Belkow to come over the middle and beat the man coverage of Huvendick.
Out of the pistol, 1st and goal. Cloward eluding a tackle from Van Leeuwen gets into the end zone. Touchdown, Loras. Man, oh man, they've put up 20 points here in the 1st quarter, and we still got 4:12 to go. Much improved team, there's no question.
Taking immediate advantage of the interception, and good job by the running back Cloward. Hit at the goal line, but able to make it all the way in, just very elusive. Basically got to the goal line untouched, and then just had to bull his way in to put Loras up by 2 scores for the first time today.
Here's Quigley to attempt the point after. And he boots this one through the upright. So with 4:12 to go, 1st quarter, Loras up by 2 touchdowns now. 21-7 over the Prairie Wolves.
Oh, hi there. Sorry, couldn't see you at first. I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and it's first Filter Friday, so I'm just checking my furnace filter here. Looks like it's about time for a clean one, which I just happen to have right here. You know, a small investment today can really reduce your heating costs and improve your efficiency. You can really see the savings. Yeah? For more tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We will see you next time.
There you see the score, 21-7, Loras College ahead of Nebraska Wesleyan. And a pretty good group of people here today. It is homecoming after all. Also the Hall of Fame. A couple of notable names from the Lincoln area being honored as part of Hall of Fame weekend. We'll show you those during halftime. As Mason Quigley will kick away. Deep end over ender. And Skurjanik going to take the knee in the back of the end zone. And again, the Prairie Wolves start from their own 25. So we saw the previous drive, well, 2 drives ago now, where Wesleyan went 75 yards. Again, the mix of pass and run. Try to stay with that. And again, you know, Shaka Taylor, I thought, did a great job on that drive, just running in between the tackles, working the edges a little bit. You got Landon Tiemann in the backfield with him as the fullback. And Curdy gives it to Taylor. Cuts back in, spun, and forced back down. His forward progress takes him to about the 28-yard line. And, boy, that Loras defense pretty tough. They're stout.
Took a while for that play to develop there, Jeff, as Taylor all the way at the top of that eye, and it seemed to take him a while to get to the line of scrimmage. And by the time he did, that crease that was there was shut off pretty quickly.
Chris Miller was the guy that got to him from Loras. Second, we'll call it 7. Taylor again trying to punch his way through the middle. Gets up to about the 30-yard line that time. Got about a 2-yard gain there. But now Loras is starting to close in on those gaps.
You have to think that their coaching staff is telling their defense, look, 34 is probably getting the ball. They don't want to put it up unless they have to. So lock in on him, and I'm sure the defensive backfield's creeping up as well, except for this 3rd and 5. They're expecting Taylor to run it.
Out of the backfield here. Curdy's going to have to improvise as he scrambles. Looks upfield, and the catch goes incomplete. Looked like Skurjanik had it, but again, incomplete. Slid in, tried to make it, get the first down. But there's a penalty flag on the field. Offside.
Defense, number 50, 5-yard penalty results in a first down.
So Wesleyan gets a break, Nate.
Sure does, as that play call was a good one. The receiver, Skurjanik, was open, and a little better throw would have gotten him the first down, but Wesleyan still getting the first down with the man offsides, and a little bit of new life for the Prairie Wolves, and we'll see if they can take advantage of it.
Third and inches. So not quite the first down, 3rd and inches. A big 3rd and inches, no doubt.
Well, you remember the first drive of the game where Wesleyan able to pick up 9 yards on the first 2 plays, but then ran it on 3rd and 1 with Shaka Taylor, and he was brought down at the line for no gain. We'll see what the Prairie Wolves go with here on 3rd and far less than 1.
Sneak play. Curdy going to take it across and get the first down at the 36. So that was to be expected. Austin Taylor was the guy that was in motion that time for Wesleyan. You kind of figured they weren't going to go with a quick jet sweep, but still the sneak play worked. So it's 1st and 10 from the 36. And it's just little things like that, Nate, I think will make a big difference.
And just pick up a first down that you're able to pick up and take advantage of the mistakes the other guys are making, as Wesleyan's made a couple of big mistakes. No reason they can't cash in on Loras mistakes.
Shaka Taylor gets the carry, and he's quickly wrapped up and tackled that time. Loras doing a good job. Bob Brophy, again, that linebacker out of Chicago, with the big stop. About a 1-yard pickup for Taylor to the 37.
And that hole on the left side shut quickly as Brophy shot in there from the right inside linebacker spot and was quickly upfield, diagnosed the play quickly, and brought Taylor to the ground. And I think this would be a time to open the playbook a little bit in terms of play action, because it seems like Taylor on this drive is getting all the attention from the Loras defense.
2nd and 9 as they spread it out. Myers in motion. Jet sweep to him, round right. Working toward the edge. Tries to cut back in, and he is stopped. And it's going to be a 1-yard loss back at the line of scrimmage at the 36.
Brock Hatsky, number 33 for Loras, was the guy who messed that play up. He likely won't get credit for the tackle, but he came in from that outside linebacker spot, shot in there, and strung the play out further until he could get help. And he was the reason that the running back Myers wasn't able to cut it upfield and pick up a little more there.
Down to the final minute of this first quarter. So 3rd and 10. Looking to pass. Tiemann is open right over here. Curdy now moving in the pocket, looks upfield, and he had Darner, but beyond the reach of Darner a little bit, about a half a step. And 4th down.
Good pocket awareness there by Curdy. Has to be disturbing, though, for Nebraska Wesleyan that the pocket broke down on just a 3-man rush. Curdy able to scramble out of there and give himself a nice look for a completion, but he couldn't quite hit the deep ball to Darner, who he's not been able to involve in this game to this point.
Well, there at one point landed Tiemann, who the fullback went out as a receiver that time, was wide open over here for maybe a short little pickup as Hines' punt gets caught up in the wind. Fair catch going to be made by Ollie at the 37-yard line in Loras territory with just over 30 seconds left here in this opening period.
Big drive here for the Wesleyan defense. You feel like the game is starting to slip from their control, and they have to stand up. They have some margin for error here with the ball back at the 36-yard line, which is good field position, but not great field position. You can still give up a first down or two on this drive and not give up a score, but boy, if Loras marches it down the field again, you really worry about Wesleyan's standing in this game.
And a handoff that time as Austin Shook got in there and put the stop on Cody Miggle, as Miggle came up with the carry that time and a loss of yards back behind the 25-yard line.
Really good penetration by the Prairie Wolf defensive line. Mess that play up and slow it down and set Loras in 2nd and long. Good start to the drive for Nebraska Wesleyan.
Final play of the first quarter. Here's Kelly in the pocket looking downfield, and Schulte beyond his reach, incomplete. Coverage downfield by Nick Broughton that time for Wesleyan. And the first quarter comes to a close, but Loras strikes first. They strike quick. Wesleyan answered, but it's been Loras so far in this game. 21-7. Come back for the second quarter after you see this.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on LNK TV Sports and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
There you see the score, 21-7. Loras College ahead of Nebraska Wesleyan with Nate Rohr and the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew. I'm Jeff Moats. So far in this game, Nate, first downs, Loras with 4, Wesleyan with 5. We look at the total offense, 105 for Loras, 95 for Wesleyan. So it's rather close. It's not, by a large stretch, but I think for the most part, despite the 21-7 score, we've seen a lot of these stats not really get too out of hand from either side. But again, 105 total yards of offense for Loras to 95 for Wesleyan so far. As Kelly here on the pocket, third down, throws a sharp pass over the middle and it goes incomplete. He was looking for Castoro that time. Good breakup that time by Nick Broughton that time. So that'll bring up a 3-and-out here and fourth down for Loras.
An excellent job by Wesleyan on that drive. Like I said at the beginning of the drive, it felt like a point where Loras could really lock this game down or Wesleyan could fight to stay in it, and the battle won by Wesleyan. Big point there, possibly a turning point in this one.
Quigley's punt. Going to take a bounce around the 30, go inside the 25. They're going to let it roll down to about the 21-yard line. As Brent Barth was awaiting the punt. And so Wesleyan back out on offense. The Nebraska Wesleyan Prairie Wolves, they're the only IAC team without a conference victory through just 2 weeks of league play. Only 2 teams remain undefeated. And again, this is the 8th time in school history where they have entered homecoming 0-4. And the first time that it's happened since 1977. So 4 decades since that's happened for the Prairie Wolves. And Taylor gets the carry, working out toward the edge, and not for long as Logan Shepard came in to make the tackle.
Again, the play took quite a while to develop as Taylor had to go wide to the left. It seemed like Loras had it pretty well strung out, and Taylor fortunate to get just a yard on that play as Shepard shooting up from the safety spot to take him down. And you have to wonder what the wrinkles are off the handoff to Taylor. We should see a little more play action as this game unfolds.
2nd and 9. Pitch. Taylor trying to cut back in, spins out of a tackle, trying to get out of another. Boy, you want to talk about a guy that's fighting for yards. That's Shaka Taylor's. He stretched across up toward the 25-yard line. And it seemed like he ran forever.
Yeah, pinballed off about 3 guys there, Jeff, and it was a fight for yards as Loras keying on him, locked in on him, and he was met at the line, spun away from Bob Brophy. Was able to fight his way forward for a couple more yards, but fairly tough third down coming up for the Prairie Wolves.
Big third down here. Here's Curdy. In the flat, Taylor. Stutter steps, and I think that allowed the Loras defense to really zero in on him and pursue him, and no gain, in fact a loss, and that'll bring up fourth down.
Curdy's pass is complete to Taylor.
Long pass out to the flat, an opportunity for Loras to get on him very quickly and take him down for a 1-yard loss. And not what you wanted to see there from Wesleyan with a 3-and-out.
No.
And their offense, I think, is going to have to shift its focus from Taylor to somebody else, whether it's these wide receivers, whether it's Landon Tiemann, whether it's some counters. But handing it off straight ahead to Taylor at this point isn't working because Loras has adjusted well to that part of the Wesleyan attack.
Here's the punt. High spiraling kick as Ollie watches it go over his head. It's going to take a bounce, and it got it off his hands. Mommer down there as he tries to dive on for it, but finally Loras gets it right outside the goal line. Pounced upon that time. It looked like maybe Brett Machi that time was the guy that. But Mommer, one of the upmen for Nebraska Wesleyan, had an opportunity to get that ball back and take it into the end zone. As you take a look at this again, how about Hines' punt? There you see Mommer on your right, number 15.
And a good job by Loras to evade disaster there and jump on that football. Bad news for them. They're back at the 1. Here's an opportunity for Wesleyan's defense to make a play and get a takeaway. Still looking for their first interception of the year. No time like the present for it for the Prairie Wolves.
This is highly unusual if you don't go with have an interception all at any point in the season, especially at this juncture if you're Wesleyan. Kelly in the end zone. Pursuit is on. Catch. Nope. Incomplete. Coming in from a slant route on the right side. Cody Michael that time was the guy that he was looking to, but the pursuit was on. Bricker and a few other guys were in that backfield and ready to take down Kelly for a safety.
Bricker was coming hard on that blitz, basically unblocked, and that really rushed Kelly's throw, made him get rid of it before he was prepared for it, before the receiver was ready.
Kelly going to air it out. Got a man down there, goes incomplete. Broughton with good coverage down there that time on Schulte.
And
Third
again,
and 10.
Sorry, Jeff. Again, the pass rush a factor. Austin Shook was in Kelly's face as he delivered the football. This is a Wesleyan team. We mentioned no interceptions, only 4 sacks. But they're really bringing the heat on this possession against Loras.
Big third down. Kelly and that Loras offense trying to get out of the cellar. Another play action. Near side. Ball knocked away by Heath Uvendick, the pride of Beatrice, the former Orangeman. Knocks the ball away. Bell Cow is the intended receiver.
Loras unwilling to run the ball in that situation, and considering their big-time advantage in terms of size on the offensive line, I'm a little surprised they didn't just get big, pound away, give themselves some breathing room, but I'm glad they didn't do it because Wesleyan's in very good shape to get the ball with very good field position.
And now Quigley in the back of the end zone to punt. Here's the boot, got it off just in time, and Brant Barth going to pick it up at the 42 in Loras territory, near side 30. Finally brought out of bounds hard that time by Sam Maloney of Loras. But for Nebraska Wesleyan, you're in pretty good position in terms of getting the ball inside the 30-yard line or close to it. They're going to put it at the 30-yard line here with just over 12 minutes to go, but still some time to make up for lost ground.
Golden opportunity here for the Prairie Wolves to draw within one score. The defense is starting to answer the call. The offense needs to do same here.
Here's a pitch. Taylor, halfback toss, downfield. He's got Pelkey. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. What a play. The old halfback toss. And Shaka Taylor with a touchdown pass.
I kept calling for Wesleyan to change its focus offensively. Well, they changed their focus, but they kept going to the same guy, Shaka Taylor, and he was able to nail the wide-open Pelkey for the touchdown pass.
And the snap is botched. They're going to have to improvise. And running over to the far side of the field and taking the loss is Dylan Hike, the holder, the junior out of Millard West. And so the point after is spoiled, but Nebraska Wesleyan, they get 6 on the scoreboard. They're down 8, 21-13 here on Hall of Fame and Homecoming here at Able Stadium.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Take a look at this again, Nate, as we see that halfback toss from Shaka Taylor. And there you see Bradley Pelkey backing up. He saw the ball. He backed up in the end zone. What a great play. That was coming off a great defensive effort, too, and a great punt from Jackson Hines.
Why not try and ride the wave further? And you could see on that replay how badly fooled Loras' defense was. Bob Brophy was coming upfield and shooting to his left, and I'm sure he wasn't the only one who thought that it was going to be a pitch to the outside with Shaka Taylor, and instead Taylor was the one pitching it for the score.
And this one will go out of the end zone for a touchback, and Jackson Hines with a deep boot. Now, the thing about Jackson, hit a career-long 45-yard field goal last Saturday tying for the longest made field goal so far this season in the IAC Conference. And up until that botched snap, he was a perfect 10 of 10 on point afters. I don't know if you count that or not.
I don't believe it does go as an attempted extra point because he never kicked the ball.
That's true. So we'll say he's still a perfect 10 for 10 as Cloward, the big running back, gets the carry, and it took 3 to 4 Prairie Wolves to take him down. Tyler Sorensen among them over there for Nebraska Wesleyan, and Dylan McKitchen was over there too.
Loras getting behind this big line trying to pound some.
And no huddle here as Cloward gets the carry. And Eli Bricker and the rest of the Prairie Wolves force him back down. They'll give him forward progress, though, to the 37.
Better response on that second snap. Loras had thrown it 5 straight plays before the first down run with Cloward. I was a little surprised, as I said, that they threw it 3 times from the 1. Surprised they didn't get big and try to pound it out of there.
2nd and 8. Kelly. Diving grab, Schulte incomplete.
I don't know if Schulte had enough room on that left sideline on that out route. It seemed like by the time he made his break, he was only a couple of steps from being out of bounds. So it was a tough ball for Kelly to fit in there, and he was unable to do so. And for Kelly, it's off to a rough start right now. 3 for 10 from Bob Kelly, and he usually hits 68% of his passes.
Yeah. 3rd and 8. And now Kelly being pursued. Loose football. The Prairie Wolves get it back. The Prairie Wolves get it back. Jumping on top of the football was Grant Bednar. I didn't see who stripped the ball out. There was so much pursuit on Kelly, the quarterback. But Grant Bednar jumps on top of it, and the Wolves get it back in prime real estate at the 26.
First fumble loss this year by Loras College as you get another look at it. And in there for the sack was Braxton Tice. That ball knocked the ball loose, and the last 2 drives, Nebraska Wesleyan has done a great job of getting heat on the quarterback, Kelly. They didn't get a sack on that drive that started at the 1, but they were in his face the whole time. There they get the sack, and here an opportunity for Wesleyan to tie it up with absolutely terrific field position.
They'll work out of the I formation, 1 receiver each side. Under center's Curdy. Turn around, play action. Curdy in the pocket, downfield. He's got Darner, and it's broken up, and it goes incomplete. What a strike that would have been, but it's broken up by Riley Larson.
Boy, Larson only got his fingertips in on that ball. Great play call there on Curdy with the play action fake, and that opened it up quite a bit for the best big play receiver that Nebraska Wesleyan has, Darner. He was open down the middle, but at the last minute, Larson stuck in a hand and got a big breakup.
They're really going to spread it out here. 2nd and 10 from the Loras 27. Here's a handoff. Taylor through the tackles, breaks one, 20, 15. Bulldog from behind at about the 14-yard line. A first down for the Prairie Wolves.
It seems counterintuitive there, Jeff, but you mentioned before the snap that they had spread out the Loras defense, so that made it tougher for them to zone in on Shaka Taylor, and as a result, Taylor had some running lanes, was able to crack it open for a first down and a 13-yard gain as he is up over 50 yards rushing today on 14 carries.
They'll spread it out again, Nate. Curdy out of the gun. They'll give it to Taylor. Taylor inside the 10. Going to be tackled around the 8-yard line. Nice little pickup for Shaka Taylor. About 6 on the play, it looks like. As they melt down that clock here, we're down to 10 minutes to go in this first half.
Taylor with such good vision on his 2 runs on this drive. He's had juke and cut and weave his way to find the yardage, but he's been able to do so on the last couple carries.
Second down here at the 8. Here's a pitch. Taylor inside, losing a helmet I think that was Taylor. Yep, that was Taylor that lost his helmet as he got down to the 5-yard line. He's going to have to come out here for this next play.
That's bad news because it's 3rd and 2. You had the pitch play with Tiemann. And so it'll be 3rd and short.
Well, you got Tiemann in the fullback, then you got Colby Enns who's going to come in and be that tailback in place of Taylor. So with 9:11 to go here in this second quarter, Wesleyan with the ball 3rd and 1 outside of the Loras 5-yard line. They'll spread it out. Curdy, long count. Hand off, it goes Enns. Tries to fight his way into the end zone, and he gets in there. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. Colby Enns with it. And he is all fired up.
Good adjustment by this Wesleyan offensive coaching staff because they had been trying to pound it earlier in this game to no success against Loras College. They have realized that by spreading out their offensive formation and spreading out the Loras defense, that'll create some running lanes for them. They took advantage of it, running the last 4 plays of that drive for a touchdown.
Hines with his 11th point after of the season. And now Wesleyan has closed that deficit down to 1. Loras up 21-20. Back in a moment.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
Well, the Prairie Wolves have pulled within 1 here. Second quarter with 8:47 to play here on Hall of Fame Day and Homecoming at Able Stadium. And we'll mention at halftime, of course, we'll have the Hall of Fame recognition. And on the ensuing kick, that's going to go into the end zone. They're going to take a knee. As Castoro backed up and took that knee in the end zone, that's where we'll see Loras begin from their own 25. So we got Hall of Fame Homecoming coming up. I have an interview with Nebraska Wesleyan President Dr. Fred Oles coming up at halftime, talking about homecoming. And also some other activities happening on campus. Of course, the progress being made on the new wrestling facility next door to us here to the north. New science building going up on the west side of campus. Plenty more about that coming up. So from the 25, it is Loras with the football. And Kelly, the quarterback, working out of that pistol setup. Pass on the far side is complete, and it's Cloward who fights his way upfield, make that Schulte. Schulte was the guy that made the catch. Past the 30 to the 32-yard line. Now you notice a lot in college football, Nate, usually because of noise, quarterbacks will make the clapping sound to snap the ball. I mean, this is probably one of the first times that we've seen it at this level of football. You see it a lot in major college football, mainly due to the noise factor. And there you see it again from Kelly. Wounded duck pass upfield and a flag thrown. Catch going to be made by Castoro, but a penalty flag on the field.
But we are going to take a vexillology break.
Loras getting back to their quick passing game. We'll see if Castoro will be called for offensive pass interference. You would assume it's pass interference on somebody from where that flag was thrown.
Holding. Defense, number 7. That penalty's been declined. Results in first down.
So Dakota Buss, the other Beatrice Orangeman, is guilty of the penalty. He was one of our key players today. Leads the team in tackles. Downfield, pass broken up. And again, Castoro was the intended target, and Heath Uvendick looking out for his fellow Orangemen in that secondary, saying there was an offensive hold. But not the case. No penalty flags coming out.
At least on this one, but Huvendick might be planting the seed to get the call later. I'm sure the officials will keep a closer eye on it moving forward. Loras starting to run their offense at tempo, which is obviously what they want to do. They haven't really been able to run out of rhythm offensively.
Far side, Schulte in the flat. A little wheel route. Takes it inside the 30 to about the 28. Got the first down.
And on this drive, Jeff, they've really tried to wing it out into the flats to Schulte primarily. They've gotten it to Castoro downfield a couple of times, or at least tried to. But the bread and butter of this offense seems to be going out to Schulte in the flat.
He'll work out of the pistol. That's Kelly. Handoff it goes to Cloward, and Cloward is met up. And no big gain on the play. Maybe about a yard, if that. Wesleyan defense able to get over there to help make the stop. But again, the clapping thing, I'm trying to think. Oklahoma uses it. We've seen a few other teams.
There's a time when Nebraska used it. But
Nebraska did it one time, I know. But that's just something that helps the center snap the ball. Sorensen in pursuit of Kelly and could not get to him, and Kelly slid in like he was sliding into second base as he got down to the 27-yard line. About a yard gain, and that's it.
Really the first time on this drive that Wesleyan's been able to get pressure on Kelly, Jeff. We mentioned it on the last couple of drives that the Prairie Wolves have been able to get some heat on Kelly. The fact that they've not been able to do so because of the quick passing by Loras is why the Dewhawks have moved the ball on this drive.
3rd and 9. Play action here. And it's caught sliding in there. Castoro. And it looked like it was going to be knocked away by Nick Broughton down there, but instead it was Castoro who came in sliding with the grab at about the 5.
Well, I don't know how Nick Broughton didn't get this ball, as we'll get another look at it here on replay. It was down the middle. Broughton had a good look at it, just evaded his grasp.
1st and goal. Cloward cuts back out, works back in, and he is quickly stopped short of the goal line. Jacob Van Loo had a hand in that.
Still as stacked up as that play was, Cloward with an impressive job to pick up the 3 yards that he was able to find. As that thing was stacked up from the word go. It started out over right guard. He ended up running behind left tackle.
2nd and goal from the 2. And Cloward takes it into the end zone. And that puts Loras up 27-20 with the point after coming up. So they respond. They finally answer after Wesleyan scored twice unanswered. And now the point after coming up here for Mason Quigley.
Wesleyan had really held the fort defensively. 2 3-and-outs and then a fumble caused and recovered on the last 3 drives. But Loras able to answer on this drive and push the lead back to 7 and 8 if they get the PAT.
Looks good. 5:38. And Loras answers, but we got a flag on the field, it looks like, over here on the near side. We'll find out what it is here before we head to break.
Offside defense, number 50. That penalty's declined.
Yep. So
PAT's good.
the point after counts. Back after this on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Nebraska Wesleyan trailing 28-20 to Loras College here on homecoming. Coming up at halftime, again, we'll talk with Nebraska Wesleyan President Dr. Fred Oles about homecoming this weekend, plus Hall of Fame weekend, and also show you the Hall of Fame inductees this weekend here at Wesleyan. A couple of Lincoln names of note. Josh Beaver, a former thrower on the track team and football player out of Lincoln High. Justin Herzl, former baseball player from Lincoln Northeast, among the inductees. And on the return, here is Carr breaking free past the 30, 35 up to the 40, and finally ran out of bounds around the 42-yard line. And also, the Spirit of the Plainsman Award goes to our broadcast colleague, Dick Janda. And he'll be honored at halftime. Of course, Dick's been a part of the local sports broadcasting scene in Lincoln for more than 40 years. Many years as sports director at Channels 10 and 11. Also at KFOR Radio, KLMS Radio. First and 10 here for Curdy as Shaka Taylor gets it, and he's not going to go anywhere. He's stopped for no gain on the play. But Dick also part of one of the old Nebraska football networks that was back in the day when Nebraska had 4 stations and 4 different networks covering their games weekly. And Dick got to work with the late Don Gill over at KLIN and on their network.
Be an awful crowded press box if that were the case now.
Well, he told me a story here, and I'll get that here in a moment as Derek Curtis goes in motion. And Curdy will look for Curtis, who gets in the flat. Curtis stretches up to about the 45 and gets about 3 on the pickup that time. He told me one time they were over at Ames when Nebraska played Iowa State. They had 5 radio crews, 4 Nebraska, 1 Iowa State, and they had 4 booths. He and Don Gill had to sit outside, and he wore a dressed up or a button-up shirt, t-shirt, short sleeve. And it was a warm day, then it got cold, and that brisk north wind made it absolutely frigid. Curdy in trouble as he rolls left, looking upfield, and incomplete. It was looked like for Derek Curtis, who was the intended target that time, and that'll bring up 4th down. But he said that was one memorable time in Ames that I really don't want to remember, basically because it was just so cold and I wasn't prepared for the elements. But can you imagine? You got 4 radio crews covering the same school.
Oh, yeah.
That's hard to fathom in this day and age.
I mean, you scan the dial here in the state of Nebraska enough, and we have many stations on the Husker Sports Network, and then in that era, basically every station in Lincoln and every station in Omaha was carrying a broadcast of Husker football. Wild.
That ended about 1983 or 84. Here's the punt, and it's going to be a fair catch by Ollie at about the 15-yard line. But just one of those stories that Dick always talked about, and I think that probably the one memorable thing that people may remember is when he was at 10-11. This is every bit about 35, almost 40 years ago. They had a show called the Friday Night Sports Roundup. And they did all the high school scores and the highlights, and then Bob Devaney came in and did his prediction for the Nebraska game the following day. Well, Nebraska was playing Oklahoma. And I'll get to that story here in a moment as Kelly gets the snap and a handoff around left side on the run. Far side, Cody Miggle gets the carry and gets about a pickup of 6 on the play up to the 21-yard line. So they had Bob Devaney on. There was a guy from, I believe, the Hula Bowl over there. And a pursuit that time. And that time it was Miguel who got the carry. And a loss of a yard back at the 20-yard line. Well, anyway, the night before, they played Oklahoma, and Barry Switzer prearranged this deal with Dick to make an appearance on the Devaney show and he told a guy at 10-11 to go buy some tacos down the street. So he bought him some tacos, and he walked on the set and handed Bob Devaney some tacos because essentially the loser of the Nebraska-Oklahoma game was going to go to the Sun Bowl. An interception! There's your first interception! Bricker around the 10, and he's tripped up. Eli Bricker gets the first INT for Wesleyan this season. And a flag thrown. And this may be an unsportsmanlike conduct against Nebraska Wesleyan.
That's a shame because they were going to get terrific field position and a great opportunity to draw within one or tie this game.
Number 47, 15
Whoa, and that's going to go against Bricker. But he was pumped up. The first interception of the season for the Prairie Wolves.
You get another look at it, pass over the middle. It was kind of behind Castoro, and they did not see who the man was for Wesleyan that hit him. That popped the ball up, and Johnny on the spot was Eli Bricker. He was able to pull that thing in and get for the Prairie Wolves their first interception of the year and a long time coming.
Well, to finish the thought, so Barry Switzer walks on with the sack of tacos, hands it to Devaney, and of course they were pretty good friends. But Oklahoma won the game the next day against Nebraska here in Lincoln. Oklahoma went to the Orange Bowl. Nebraska ended up going to the Sun Bowl. And I think they beat Mississippi State in the Sun Bowl. And it might have been about 80-81 in that time frame.
1980 was the year, yes, because 81, of course.
They went to the Orange Bowl in 82.
And lost to Clemson.
And who won the national championship.
Correct. Yeah, I was hoping you'd bring up the taco story regarding Dick Janda.
That's one of the more bizarre stories that Dick has ever been a part of in his broadcasting career.
That penalty will be enforced from the 7-yard line beyond the 22.
Okay. So there you go. And there's your bit of trivia, by the way.
That clip's available on YouTube, by the way.
It is.
I love it.
It is. 1st and 10 from the 22 of Loras. Here's Curdy. Pitch to Taylor. Tries to cut back in, and it just seems like now Loras has picked up on what Shaka Taylor is going to do with that football. Now, there have been a couple of instances in previous drives where Taylor's been able to find a hole and take advantage of it and take it right through the middle.
I think this would be a good time for play action for Wesleyan, and in fact, perhaps that first down snap would have been with all the attention Taylor's getting.
Well, they're going to spread it out. Myers in motion. Curdy looking to throw. In the pocket, going to roll out left. Looking downfield, he's got somebody looking for him, incomplete. Jackson Hines, the intended receiver. And, you know, for the life of me, I can't think of the guy that was there from Hawaii that night. But he was holding a pineapple.
Right. Maybe a committee man from the Hula Bowl, because I think that's where OU was going to go if they lost the game to Nebraska.
Yeah. Third and 10 here for the Prairie Wolves. Curdy. Far side. He's looking for Taylor, who makes the catch, and he dives into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. What a grab. What a play.
He was well covered out of the backfield. He was well covered.
That's called athleticism.
Yeah.
And Shaka Taylor with a nice catch.
Just impressive concentration there by Taylor, having to make the catch around the defenders. We get another look at it. Taylor had a man right on him, but had a step on him, and that was Chris Miller, the linebacker, and he beat him. He was able to pull it in for the touchdown, and now Wesleyan going for the double extra point to try and tie this game. Trying to ride momentum a little bit. Normally a little early to be chasing points.
Long count here from Curdy. Toss, far side. Caught by Pelkey. It's in there for the 2-point conversion. So Pelkey with a 2-point conversion to go with his touchdown earlier, and we're deadlocked at 28. And that brings the homecoming crowd to their feet. A minute 59 to go in this first half. Back to Able Stadium after you see this.
Hi,
Whoa.
I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
Well, all of a sudden, Nate Rohr, we are tied at 28 here between Nebraska Wesleyan and Loras College. Now, remember, Loras was the same school a week ago that put up 73 points against Buena Vista and had 631 yards of total offense. And Nebraska Wesleyan, who has struggled, off to an 0-4 start for the first time in 40 years, hanging with them. Here's the kick, picked up at the 9, Ollie. Toward the 15, cuts out toward the 20 in the middle, and does a hurdle before he is quickly taken down at the 25-yard line. What a leap that was. But now we got some commotion. Wow. We're seeing all sorts of stuff happening today.
And I'll say this, Jeff. We talked earlier in the game about the energy and the confidence that Loras College showed before the game. As you get another look at this. Big time hit, 5 Prairie Wolves in on the tackle. But you sense Nebraska Wesleyan playing with that confidence and that belief. They are very energetic on the sidelines and reacting these last few plays, seemingly all of them going their way.
So it'll be 1st and 10 from the 25 for Loras. Here is Kelly. And it's Cloward who runs into Eli Bricker, who takes him down.
Man, Bricker was right there and just ate him alive. And Eli Bricker very active right now.
And Loras is going to burn their first timeout. Nope, it's going to go against Wesleyan. Wesleyan will take the timeout. A minute 45 left here in this first half. We're still tied at 28.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in, and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
So a timeout taken by Nebraska Wesleyan. We got a minute 45 to go here in this first half. Tied at 28. And a great crowd this afternoon for football here in Lincoln. A few folks made it all the way from Dubuque. And, of course, across the state of Iowa. Boy, you look at the roster for Loras. They've got not only kids, a lot of kids from Iowa. There's a lot of kids from Illinois, especially from around the Chicago area. 2nd and long. Kelly looking to throw. In the pocket, eludes a tackle. He's open. He's going to try to get that first down, but he's going to slide in short at the 31.
Really?
And he probably could have gotten that first down easy.
That's what I was thinking, too, is he had more room to go and surrendered himself about 3 yards before he had to. If he bounced it out wider, he would have had a shot at a first down and maybe even more.
So a timeout taken on the field with a minute 26 to go. And we'll keep it right here. But the momentum has really shifted. Now we saw Loras jump out to that 21-7 lead. And since that point, Wesleyan has outscored them 21-7 to tie this thing up. And now Loras with the ball, 3rd and about 4 at their own 31 when play resumes. But that momentum shift, boy, Wesleyan has really capitalized at both sides of the football. The defense really has been a big component. The offense has really stepped up. This is probably, from what we've seen so far this season, the best that we've seen this offense working. I mean, they've had their share of struggles, but again, these guys are they're starting to mature more and more game by game. And they're going up against a Loras team that's a much better team. In fact, a way better team than what they were a year ago. 3rd and short. Cloward in motion out of the backfield. Kelly looking to throw. Got a guy over the middle. That's Cloward. Gets the first down across the 35. Lunges ahead to about the 39. They're going to say his knee went down at the 39-yard line. So the clock will stop at 1:15. They'll get set up. And here we go. Kelly looking to throw. Got someone over the middle, and it's caught around the 35. And it's Castoro who makes the catch. But penalty flags in the backfield. Let's find out what the infraction is.
We do have a malfeasance alert. There's a flag on the...
It is a holding penalty against Loras, and you're right, a malfeasance alert. Obviously a penalty committed by Loras.
4. Offense holding. 15-yard penalty. Repeat, first down.
Jeff, I really feel like this game changed when Wesleyan started getting pressure on Bob Kelly, the Loras quarterback. Loras has been sending him back on more deep drops.
Well, and they've been able to break down that pocket.
Right.
And the offensive line from Loras has collapsed because of that pressure. And you're right, I think that's been the big difference. 3 down linemen here for the Prairie Wolves. Rush is on, short toss. Cloward cuts back in around the 30, and he stammers and stopped by Van Loo around the 34. So we're down to under 50 seconds here in this first half. Again, coming up at halftime, homecoming, Hall of Fame recognition, an interview with Nebraska Wesleyan President Dr. Fred Oles. Second, and we'll call it long. Kelly in the pocket. Pressure's on, and he is sacked. And it's a big stop there for Bednar.
Seems like every time Kelly drops back, he's under some duress. This Loras offense has worked best when Kelly is spraying the ball out to the flats.
And the first half comes to a close, and folks, we got a ball game on homecoming here at Able Stadium in Lincoln. It is a 28-all ball game between Nebraska Wesleyan and Loras College. Stay tuned. Hall of Fame, homecoming, and an interview with Dr. Fred Oles coming up in a moment on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences. Designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University.
Oh, hi there. Sorry, couldn't see you at first. I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and it's first filter Friday, so I'm just checking my furnace filter here. Looks like it's about time for a clean one, which I just happen to have right here. You know, a small investment today can really reduce your heating costs and improve your efficiency. You can really see the savings. Yeah? For more tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We will see you next time.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on LNK TV Sports and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences, designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University, NWU.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences, designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University, NWU.
Our first inductee is Tacey Loras, class of 1995. Tacey was the first player to earn All-American recognition for the Nebraska Wesleyan women's basketball program. She earned first-team All-NIAC honors at center in 1994 and 95. Tacey scored 1,147 points during her career, becoming the fourth player to top 1,000 points. Her 874 career rebounds still rank second on the all-time chart. Kelly Sheaf Mullendor, class of 1996, was a three-time all-conference pitcher, earning first-team honors in 1995. She was on the NAIA District 11 team all 3 years, including twice on the first team. She set school records for wins, complete games, and innings pitched, and she still holds 2 school records, including season innings pitched and complete games. Her name still appears on 10 of Nebraska Wesleyan's top 10 charts. Kelly Sheaf Mullendor. Justin Rice, class of 1997, was a 2-time NAIA All-American Honorable Mention selection at defensive end on the football team. He broke onto the scene in 94, earning NAIA National Player of the Week, then went on to earn first-team All-Conference in 1995 and 96. Justin set the school record with 26 quarterback sacks, a record that still stands today. He then became the first Wesleyan football player to be a 3-time COSIDA Academic All-American, including first-team honors in 1995 and 96. He also earned an NCAA postgraduate scholarship. Justin Rice. Nate Thomas, class of 1998, was the starting center on the Nebraska Wesleyan men's basketball team, earning NCAA Division III Honorable Mention All-American honors in 1998. As a junior, he helped lead the Plainsmen to the NCAA Division III National Championship game. In his senior year, he was the leading scorer for the Plainsmen as they were the number 1 ranked team in the nation, winning their first 23 games. Nate set the school record for career field goal percentage, shooting over 64% during his 4-year career. Nate Thomas. Josh Beaver, class of 2000, was a two-sport athlete who earned All-American recognition in both football and track and field. He was a 2-time All-American tight end and garnered second-team All-Region in 2000, leading the team to the GPAC championship. Josh finished with 20 career touchdowns to rank 3rd in school history. Then in track and field, Josh was a 5-time All-American, setting the school record in discus and indoor weight throw. He was the 2000 NCAA Division III Discus National Champion and won the Conference Discus Championship all 4 years. Josh Beaver. Justin Herzl, class of 2003, finished his baseball career as one of the top hitters in school history, setting the school record with a .428 batting average playing from 2000 to 2002. Justin was a 3-time first-team all-conference selection as an outfielder. Justin also batted over .400 in each of his 3 seasons, including .465 in 2002. He led the Wesleyan baseball program to the 2000 NAIA National Tournament and the 2001 GPAC Championship. Justin Herzl. Our Spirit of the Plainsman Award recipient, Dick Janda, is up here in the press box calling today's game on the radio. A longtime Nebraska broadcaster, Dick provides Prairie Wolf fans in-depth coverage and exciting calls over the radio dial and over the internet. As the voice of the Prairie Wolves, Dick has served as the play-by-play radio voice of Nebraska Wesleyan football and basketball the last 9 years. He's broadcast over 300 games for the Prairie Wolves, covering volleyball and women's basketball. Give us a wave out of your broadcast booth, Dick. Finally, we'd like to honor the 2006 Nebraska Wesleyan men's golf team that was inducted into the Hall of Fame this morning. The 2006 Nebraska Wesleyan men's golf team made history as they won the NCAA Division III National Championship at Firethorn Golf Course, the school's first ever team national championship in any sport. Under head coach Brett Ballack, the Prairie Wolves won 6 team titles during the season, including their 3rd straight GPAC championship. All 5 members of the team earned All-American honors, and the team ended the year ranked number 1 in the D3 coaches poll. Members of the team include Travis Davis, class of 2006, John Dinas, class of 2006, Jeff Holm, class of 2006, Tyler Lawson, class of 2008, Aaron Stockton, class of 2007, and head coach Brett Ballack, class of 1991. Congratulations to all our Hall of Fame inductees.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences, designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University, NWU.
We're back here at Able Stadium on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network. Hello, I'm Jeff Motes, along with Nebraska Wesleyan University President Dr. Fred Oles. Dr. Oles, thank you for joining us here at
Delighted to be with you, Jeff. Thank you.
Well, it is homecoming weekend here, Hall of Fame weekend here at Nebraska Wesleyan. How are you celebrating?
Yes, sir. We're celebrating in a lot of big ways, Jeff. We kicked off things by crowning a homecoming king and queen, and a couple nights ago we had our Legends and Legacies event where we honored 7 alumni for their accomplishments in their careers. Now this morning we had the Athletic Hall of Fame banquet and inducted new members into that as well. It's a great weekend all around.
And with folks coming back for homecoming, have you given them the chance to maybe go check out some of the new things on campus?
Indeed, we are, Jeff. We've got tours going on the whole time during homecoming because we have construction going on from end to end on campus right now. Right over here, the new athletic practice facility is underway. That's the home for the Nebraska Wesleyan wrestling team, and we'll make other uses of it as well. Then on the west side of campus, we have extended the perimeter. For the first time since our founding in 1887, we've added about 2 acres, and the Dwayne W. Ackley Hall of Science is under construction. I'm very pleased with these achievements.
Always something going on, always progression going on here at Nebraska Wesleyan, Dr. Olds.
Thank you, Jeff. I like the momentum, and it's a delight to tell you about it.
All right, there you have it. Nebraska Wesleyan University President Dr. Fred Olds here at halftime. We'll come back to Able Stadium with more in just a moment.
Lincoln Electric System is proud to serve the Lincoln area. We can't imagine a better community to work for, so we owe it to our customers and team members to be something even better. That's why we're striving to be the world's best energy company. The kind of people who work for us are the kind of people who will get us there. Reliable people who believe in safety, integrity, and most of all, serving their neighbors. And at LES, the professionals who work here stay here. The reasons are many. You'll get the technology and training you need to succeed and advance. Benefits that allow you to take care of your family's needs and goals. You'll do important work to help create a sustainable energy future for us all. If you are starting your professional journey with LES, you will gain experience in our wide-ranging internship programs. At the end of the day, people stay here, we believe, for a very simple reason. LES is a great place to work, to build a career, and to do something that matters. It's all because we are local people serving local people.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on LNK TV Sports and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Welcome back to Able Stadium along with Nate Rohr and the rest of our Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew. I'm Jeff Moats. We're at the half, tied at 28. There you see the stats. How about the first downs? They're about neck and neck. They are 9 and 9 for each. Rushing-wise, Nebraska Wesleyan 69 compared to the 31 from Loras. Passing-wise, there you see the difference there. But total yards, the advantage goes to Loras College. Each team with 2 turnovers and then 1 sack for Nebraska Wesleyan. The passing percentage about even as well. So we got ourselves the makings of a good football game. The question is, in the second half, where's that momentum going to go? Is it going to stay with Nebraska Wesleyan, or is it going to sag back over toward Loras College?
It is a good question, and the big issue is Loras gets the football to begin this third quarter of play because momentum was squarely on the side of the black, brown, and gold by the end of the second quarter. They owned this game at the end of the second quarter, but both teams have had a halftime to reset and to figure things out and to try and chart a course for this third quarter. I think this is a huge first drive in the third quarter. And as we were looking at those stats, I think a couple of things that stood out to me, the fact that Wesleyan's been able to force 2 turnovers. They hadn't picked off a pass all year until today. So turnovers are even. They also have 1 sack on Loras, and I don't think that begins to reflect the pressure that they've had on the Dewhawks quarterback Bob Kelly.
Right.
I think those have been the 2 keys that have kept Wesleyan in a game where I think they would have been an underdog.
Jackson Hines will kick. Loras to begin the second half on offense. And here we go. Deep end over end into that wind. And sliding in and making the catch for Loras College was Castoro, who's been a big part of that offense today for the Dewhawks. Had a catch, actually had a touchdown earlier, and now with the ball at their own 18-yard line, They will do whatever they can here to try to sustain that momentum, at least keep it over there. But Wesleyan's defense has been much improved today.
Had trouble the first couple of drives, but by the second quarter, they really settled in, forced a couple 3-and-outs and a turnover.
Zone read, and Dakota Buss in there on the tackle on Cloward that time. We mentioned Dakota Buss leads the team in tackles. Another Beatrice Orangeman again, and I'm telling you that a lot of these kids that Coach Brian Keller has got, a lot of these kids have really started to finally develop and step into these roles. But Dakota Buss has been a veteran in that secondary for quite a while. Play action. Yeah, downfield, that's going to be incomplete. Huvendick, another great effort in coverage, and he was neck and neck with Schulte, who was flying down the far sideline, but the ball was overthrown by about a few yards.
And you talk about this defense really settling in, particularly the secondary, where they lost 3 starters through the course of this season. This is the 5th game of the year. It's been a trial by fire by these guys, and today they've been equal to the challenge. Kelly 9 for 20 throwing the football.
3rd and 7. As Kelly claps the hands, looking to throw, pressure is on. Got somebody over the middle, and it's going to be a completion for a first down, short of the 35 at the 34. Good catch that time by Belcow, who comes through again.
Found a hole in the zone, sat there, and Kelly able to wing it to him and find him for the first down and keep the drive alive.
Pistol formation. On the far side, incomplete. Huvendick with great coverage on Schulte again. And there is a mismatch between those two, because you look at Huvendick, he's 5'11", 180, and you look at Schulte, he is 6'2", 195.
And yet look where that pass was delivered, Jeff. It was low and away from the receiver, Schulte. And you would think that they'd try to get the ball a little up out there, even on a pass like that where you're trying to get some run after the catch. At the very least, you have to complete it before you run after the catch.
Here's Kelly. Short toss. Castoro gets it along the near side and knocked out of bounds. Bricker was over there. Newgard was there too. Got a short pickup of about 3. This is about 3rd and 7.
Castoro nearing 80 yards receiving on 4 catches. He's the leading receiver today for Loras College, and he's usually been the big play guy and not a guy they're going to on those short meat and potatoes passes.
Kelly being pursued. Got enough time to throw. It goes incomplete. Good coverage upfield. You had Newgard and you had Bricker down there, and unable to sustain the drive, Loras is forced to punt.
I'll tell you, Tyler Sorensen coming off that right end was really making life difficult for Kelly, as he had a very strong pass rush and was in the backfield. And once again, seemingly every time Loras takes a deep drop to try and pass, Wesleyan has a man or two in the pocket getting after him.
Here's Mason Quigley's punt, and Brant Barth gets it at the 20. Now to the 30. Around the 35, going to be picked up and stopped at about the 36, about a 16-yard return for Barth, and that's it. Brant Barth, the freshman out of Kearney High, former Bearcat. And they got a good program out there this year, Nate. Bearcats off to an undefeated 6-0 start.
They just whipped Millard North, right?
Yep, I think 42-7 on Thursday night, or 42-0.
I was shocked by that score.
Here is Taylor, and he almost got out of there, but he was quickly wrapped up and stopped that time. Good tackle by Brandon Algrim that time. And you're right, you know, Kearney's had some good football players in the last 10 years or so, and Brandon Kuhl has put together a pretty solid program out there at Kearney High. They got a new school building out there, a great following. Darner at the top of your screen, he's the wideout. Curdy looking for someone. It's Conway at the 49. He gets the first down, the tight end. A leaping grab, and Conway's going to be taken down at the Loras 48.
I don't think Curdy has had much success on those scramble passes, but that time he was able to connect with Conway, who got some separation at the last minute behind his defensive man. Curdy laid that thing right in there. As you get another look at it, and Conway was just barely able to shake Mark Tilke's get open, pick up the first down.
Little shift up here. Tiemann will line up as a slot on the right. Conway the tight end on the right side. And now Tiemann in motion. Taylor gets the carry and takes it right at the teeth of that defense down to the 46. About a 2-yard gain for Shaka Taylor. He does have a receiving touchdown today.
It's going to be a tough day for Taylor to get to 100 yards. He's nearing 70 as it is, but man, every time he gets handed the football, there are 3 or 4 white-clad Loras defenders right in his face trying to bring him down.
Second, and we'll call it 8. Hines in motion. Curdy, screen toss, Taylor. And he's caught by the shoestrings that time. Brandon Algrim is there again. And that's going to be a 1-yard loss back to the 47, a 3rd and 9.
Wesleyan tried to draw everyone's attention to the left of their offense with that motion, and then came back with the screen right, but nobody fooled. Again, Taylor drawing all the interest.
3rd and 9. 1 receiver each side. Here's Curdy. Has time to throw. Got somebody over there. Pelkey inside the 25 of the 23, and he's going to be stopped close to the 22. They're going to mark it at the 22-yard line.
Pelkey had a couple of big drops early in this game, but man, as he bounced back, he had the 30-yard touchdown catch early in the third quarter that got Wesleyan going on the right track. He had the spectacular catch of the double extra point toward the end of the second quarter. He's becoming a factor in this game, and Wesleyan's going to need these receivers, Pelkey and Darner and Conway, to step up as Loras hones in more and more on Shaka Taylor.
Out of the pistol. Curdy, throw. Darner at the 16. He's ran out of bounds on the far side of the field by Riley Larson. They're going to mark him at the 16-yard line. Nice little pass out to the left side to get some quality yards. In fact, that was about a 6-yard pickup on that play, so this will be a 2nd and 4.
And you'll take that every time. Life's pretty good when you're in 2nd and 4. They have the whole playbook available to them. You know, with a 2nd and short situation, as much as they're locked in on Taylor, might be a good time for a play-action pass here.
Well, they're going to spread it out. 2 receivers each side. Curdy looking to throw. Over here in the middle, into the end zone. Pelkey, touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan. And the Prairie Wolves take the lead.
What a throw by Jonathan Curdy to Bradley Pelkey. Pelkey was fairly tightly covered over the middle. Curdy, very patient, fired it in there and was able to fire it around the coverage of Brandon Algrim for the touchdown that gives Wesleyan its first lead of the day.
Here's the point after from Jackson Hines, and it is good. Make that number 12 on the year for Jackson Hines. And the Prairie Wolves gain the lead here on Homecoming and Hall of Fame Day, 35-28 over Loras.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences. Designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University. NWU.
And there they're doing those incline bench presses with that tuba.
Band kids need to get their arm work in too, and Wesleyan getting some nice arm work from the quarterback Jonathan Curdy on that drive. He hit all 6 of his passes on a 7-play, 64-yard drive, capped by the touchdown pass over the middle to Pelkey.
Here is Ollie on the return. He's going to try to break free, but not for long. Awfully close. And a good stop
there.
And like Micah Dexter was the guy that came in and made the stop.
Curdy very efficient on that last drive, as we mentioned. So far, he's gotten the better of this quarterback battle between himself and Bob Kelly, who so far in this game, 11 for 23, a touchdown, but with an interception, 188 yards through the air for Kelly.
That diamond pistol formation, and they'll run the football this time as Cloward, it looked like, was the guy that took the carry. No, instead, not a Cloward. It was Cody Miggle that took the carry that time. Again, that diamond pistol formation. And now Cloward gets it. He's being pursued by Bednar, trying to work out to the edge to get the first down. He may have picked it up. And a late flag coming in. And this may be a late hit against Nebraska Wesleyan. So the clock stops here. And let's see what the issue is.
Looks like it's a first down as it is, with the ball right on the 40-yard line. This is a point where Wesleyan has to keep themselves under control. It's been a frustrating start to the year. They're 0-4, looking for their first win. They finally are feeling their oats, though.
Sportsmanlike offense and sportsmanlike defense, those offset.
And if you're Wesleyan, the last thing in the world you want to do is give this thing back to Loras. You want to keep playing good football, do what's gotten you to this point, and don't get too high. Don't let yourself get out of control. Just keep playing the game that has got you to this point against a Loras team that came in with a lot of momentum after lighting up Buena Vista last week. So don't let yourself get out of control if you're Nebraska Wesleyan. You've got to manage yourself right now if you're a Prairie Wolf.
So it is 1st and 10 at the 40. They did get the first down. And over here around left side. Looked like the carry that time went to Meagle that time. He gets the carry, gets about a 6-yard pickup to the 46. Now you begin to wonder if this ground game is going to come alive here for Loras and start to eat up that Wesleyan defense. Play action. Far side, there's trouble. Catch made, running out of bounds. With the grab, Sam Maloney in Wesleyan territory. They're going to mark him out at the 32.
They'd run it 3 straight plays on this drive, chewing up 15 yards. And when you're running it well, that opens up play action, which is usually a pretty easy pass. And Kelly dropped it right in there. And Loras utilizing their big advantage up front.
Working to the outside is Cloward, being pursued by Newgard. And coming up and taking him down was Dakota Buss. And Buss is kind of slow getting up.
Buss is going to have to come out of this game for a moment.
Yeah, he's slow. He's on his hands and knees. Yeah, he's going to go back down. He's in pain.
And man, is that a loss for a Wesleyan team, particularly in the secondary, that has been utterly decimated by injuries. Already 3 starters down, and Buss, who is the leading tackler for this team, both today and throughout the season,
right there.
You get another look.
Helmet-to-helmet contact there.
Oof.
This Cloward came in and hit him, and then Buss may have tweaked his knee, or not his knee, but his ankle as he's up. and it looks like an ankle as he clashed with Cloward, and he will come out.
Big time loss for Nebraska Wesleyan, and for Loras, I'm sure they're seeing that and thinking play action pass down the middle.
There it is, and it's overthrown, incomplete, and Loras looking for the flag, not thrown. As Maloney was kind of caught up in traffic a little bit. And they were looking for the flag too on that sideline.
Really looked like some miscommunication there on that route, Jeff. Unless he was held up that badly, but if he was, it's shocking the refs didn't call it.
Kelly pursued, and a catch, and Broughton comes over, makes a tackle, but it's a first down, and it is a catch made by Castoro.
He's really been the go-to receiver today for Loras, as Castoro making his 5th catch. He's up over 80 yards today.
So a new set of downs here for Loras as they continue to eat up a lot of that game clock. So they spread it out here on 1st and 10 for the Wolf 20. Kelly, far side. Maloney makes the catch out of bounds at the Wesleyan 2, and Broughton had coverage on him. But again, Broughton's about 6'1", 225. Maloney is about 6'4", 195.
Remarkable concentration there with the defensive back face guarding him, but Maloney still able to pull it in, and now the passing game starting to open up for Kelly and Loras College.
First and goal. And short of getting in there, good stop, Van Loo on Meagle that time.
Seen a lot of Miggle here on this drive. Cloward has had a couple carries as well, but it seems like Miggle the primary running back on this drive.
Second and goal. Meagle. This time he gets into the end zone. Touchdown Loras. And Van Loo is there to meet him, but Van Loo did not win the battle that time. And there is another 6 for Loras as they pulled it within 1. The point after to tie it up coming up.
Good answer drive by Loras, 10 plays, 70 yards, little over 3 minutes, answering the Wesleyan scoring drive that chewed up a little under 4 minutes a moment ago.
They do that swinging gate. Now they'll set up for Mason Quigley's point after. Snap in the hold. Here's the kick. And it's good. And we're tied up again. 6:31 to go. Quarter number 3, tied at 35 on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Is the next disruptive idea sitting on a whiteboard somewhere? Where's the next company that creates jobs in our community? What's the next big step for your business? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've helped businesses start up and thrive for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking for what comes next. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help, just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Hey, there's Joe, one of our photogs out there in the end zone. He's in the south end zone. All by himself. Well, not quite by himself. There's a few others around him. On a gorgeous afternoon. It's been kind of hit and miss. We've had a little bit of sun. We've had plenty of cloud cover, some sun. But a decent afternoon for football here in Lincoln. They were expecting a high of 79 this afternoon. And for September 30th, that's just ideal. Here's the ensuing kick, and it's going to be returned by Skurjanek on the end zone. 10, up past the 15, going to be tripped up around the 18, 19-yard line.
Gave up about 6 yards of field position anymore, Jeff, if you catch that ball in the end zone, it's usually the better idea to just take that knee, get the ball at the 25, and start the offense from there.
Well, the one thing I noticed, too, and we got an injured Duhawk down there, and that happens to be Riley Larson. But the one thing I've noticed, too, you know, when we cover the high school stuff here in Lincoln or in Nebraska, if it goes into the end zone, it's an automatic touchback. They don't even bother returning out of the end zone. It's an automatic touchback. They'll place the ball at the 20-yard line. But still, at this level of college football, you have that option of running it back out of the end zone. And Skurjanek did that, and he got about 19 yards on the return up to the 19-yard line. So it'll be 1st and 10 for the Wolves. Here's Shaka Taylor on the handoff. Got around the right side of that line. Takes it up to about the 23. About a 4-yard pickup on the play. 2nd and 6 coming up.
Nice little crease there for Taylor, and particularly when Wesleyan's tried to line it up and pound away out of the eye. Those have been absent lately, and so Wesleyan went away from it for a time. They've come back to it, and first down, had success with it.
Under 6 to go in quarter number 3. Again, we're at 35 all. A great football game this afternoon. Standard I formation, 1 receiver each side. Play action here. Curdy looking to throw. Conway, and it's intercepted out of bounds. It was picked off by Logan Shepard. Conway was the intended target.
Shepard able to jump the route of Caleb Conway. That throw just didn't have enough on it. Man coverage out there, and better man on that one was Logan Shepard. One thing that caught my eye in the setup for that play, though, Jeff, Shaka Taylor was lined up at the fullback spot before going out for a pass. Might be a new wrinkle forthcoming, but now Wesleyan has to buck up and make a big stop here and hold Loras out of the end zone, because right now momentum is with the Duhawks.
And you're right, Nate, because this could really, this particular drive could turn the tide of this game. And Loras is 35 yards away from pay dirt. Out of the pistol. Cloward, around right side, Bricker trying to bulldog him, finally gets him at about the 28-yard line. So a pickup of about 7.
By the way, Jeff, Dakota Bus back into the game for Nebraska Wesleyan, a reassuring sign as they try to make the big stop on this defensive series.
2nd and 3. Pressure's on. Toss far side, it goes incomplete. Nobody around except for Newgard, who was in zone coverage on the far side, but the blitz was on. You had Bednar over there. Bricker was pursuing. Stolpe was heading in that general direction. I think Tyler Sorensen wasn't too far behind.
They've been able to get some heat on the quarterback, Kelly, which is a little surprising considering Wesleyan came into this game with just 4 sacks. They've had some consistent pressure on him.
3rd and short. Quick pitch and catch. Cloward makes it, gets the first down. He's finally stopped at the 16. Now we're seeing Loras trying to rely on the outer edges to advance the ball downfield. You know, the quick pitch and catches. Now they'll go to that pistol setup. Kelly gets it. And Cloward around right side had an opening, gets inside the 10 to about the 8. He's about a yard short of the first down. Nice pickup of about 9 for Isaac Cloward.
Big hole on that right side. Greg Cybulski, a 340-pounder, a mountain of a man, able to open that right side up to allow Cloward to shoot through there for an 8-yard gain. And you worry that the size of Loras and the number of plays they've been able to run here in the third quarter starting to take its toll on Wesleyan.
2nd and 2 here. And it's Cloward working out to the edge, gets into the end zone, touchdown. And you got to credit the blocking up front from that big man, Cybulski. All 6'8", 340 of him, playing a big role, plus he had some help over there too. Mike Shanahan was not too far behind either. And then there was a great block laid out there by Jack Foley, or make that Mike Kuhn. Mike Kuhn was the guy, the halfback, that laid the block out that allowed Cloward to get in.
And accentuating all of it, the great vision of Cloward, because it looked like that play was supposed to start out to the left, but Cloward saw the hole right and ran through it to take it in for the go-ahead score.
And Quigley connects on the extra point, and Loras regains the lead with 4:05 to go, third quarter, 42-35 Loras. Right here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network on LNK TV.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
Is it nice enough to lay on a berm and enjoy college football underneath one of the trees? Yeah. Got some folks sitting on the back of a pickup. A great afternoon here in Lincoln for college football. The Division III variety, mind you.
I like to call those people sitting on a tailgate backed up to the football stadium, sitting in a 8-man football skybox. You see that a lot at 8-man football games. Everybody's trucks backed up, taking in the game from their vehicles instead of from the bleachers.
Yeah, it could be either 8-man or even 6-man if you go out farther west, out to Arthur County and some of those places out in west central Nebraska, where they love their 6-man football.
They do. I can't say I've ever seen a game of 6-man football, but
I've seen 8-man. I've not seen 6-man. I can only imagine 6-man being like playing football in the neighborhood with your buddies growing up.
Oh, yeah.
So from the 25, 1st and 10 for the Prairie Wolves, down 7, 42-35. Here is Taylor trying to cut back in, and he is stopped around the 31. Gets a 6-yard gain on the play. But if you've ever been to a small community in Nebraska or anywhere in the Midwest or any place else that has 8-man football, the people will they got to save their parking spots. And they pull up way early in the day, pull up, get their parking spots situated, leave their cars there, then they come back later to sit in their cars to watch the game because of the lack of seating space.
Oh, yeah.
Still kind of a big deal. How about Derek Curtis with a nice catch? They give him forward progress for the first down. Let's see where they put the ball.
Just shy.
Oh, wait a minute.
Line judge on this side is saying it's to the 35.
Yeah, the umpire, I think he misread that. But the line judge over here says, yes, he got enough for the first down.
There you go.
So the ball will move right across the 35. It will be a first down. Nice little catch there for Derek Curtis, the former Northeast Rocket.
Good mix to start this drive as you get another look at Curdy firing it out there. And
yeah, that's close.
It is a tough call really on Loras. I thought Curtis had kind of reestablished himself to try and start forward. Should have been marked at the 34, but Wesleyan will take it.
How about Taylor breaking a tackle, and he's about a half a yard short of the first down. He's around the 45-yard line, about 9.5 on the pickup.
Taylor's been able to find a couple of creases on this drive that really haven't been there in the last few. And his emergence or re-emergence in this offense will only open things up in the play-action passing game where Wesleyan's had their most success throwing the ball.
Second and short here for the Wolves. Pistol formation. Taylor will line up as a slot. Curdy. He's in trouble. Eludes a tackle. Scrambling over here. And he is not going to be anywhere close to getting the first down. He's going to take a loss of yards. Finally ran out of bounds over here on the near sideline by Chris Miller. There you see Miller, number 43. And they're going to say back at the 42. With 2 minutes and counting in this third quarter.
Curdy's shown good elusiveness back there in the pocket. He's not done a very good job of throwing the ball on the run, but he's at least been able to elude the pass rush and avoid sacks. But there, he needed to throw that ball away.
Big third down here for the Wolves. Myers in motion. And what do we got here? Penalty flags. This could be a false start. It is.
Ooh.
Action offense, number 74, 5-yard penalty, remains third down.
So Joey Mueller pulled too early.
Oof, and that is a penalty that hurts a lot. From 3rd and 3 to 3rd and 8, you can pick up 3rd and 3 fairly easily. 3rd and 8 is asking something.
Yeah, that's going to be the biggest challenge right here as to whether or not they're going to be able to get it. They'll send 2 wideouts to the top. That's Curtis and Pelkey out of the pistol. Curdy looking to throw. Looking. He's going to air it out over the middle. He's got Curtis. Did he come up with it? There's a tie-up for the football at the 35 of Loras, and Loras says they got the football. But now the official says that Curtis caught the pass. Loras says, wait a minute, we had the ball.
And remember, simultaneous possession goes to the receiver, and I think that's what the call is here, that both Curtis and the defender had the ball simultaneously. In this case, tie goes to the receiver. Big catch there for Wesleyan as we get another look at
that.
What a grab by Curtis. He was able to pull that thing in. The defender does have an arm in there, but Curtis had it wrapped up too, thus a catch for Wesleyan. And a first down, though the play clock is running down to 3, and they're going to burn a timeout here. Should get another look at it.
Yeah, watch this again. There you see Curtis getting all tangled up. But either way, both guys, great effort. Going after that football as Wesleyan burns a timeout. We'll just keep it here with 49 seconds to spare. And this is a very important possession for Nebraska Wesleyan. The momentum has shifted back over to Loras a little bit, but not entirely. If the Prairie Wolves can really sustain the drive and really execute and get it in here, then okay, it's still a toss-up and Wesleyan's still in it. Now, Loras, on the other hand, obviously you want to play your top-notch defense every time you're out there. But, I mean, this is a very important drive for them. They got to make a big stop. And if they come up with a big stop and keep the ball in their possession, they could try to melt down some clock to begin the fourth quarter and then start to grind things out.
But first things first, they got to tighten up here as Wesleyan has it at the 35 of Loras College after that big catch by Curtis.
Play action. Curdy got somebody downfield. It's going to be in the air, and it's incomplete. And it was Ollie who was in front of the intended receiver, Derek Curtis. Curtis, the intended receiver, but Curdy, I mean, he threw it right into coverage. And it was awfully close because Ollie could have had a pick right there.
Good job by Curtis, basically playing defensive back, and it was Ollie who had the better chance to catch that ball, but Curtis able to get an arm in there and flick that thing away and keep this drive alive for the Prairie Wolves.
Here's Curdy, handoff, Shaka Taylor. And Taylor gets about 2 on the pickup down to the 33. Down to 30 seconds here, and let's see if the Prairie Wolves are just going to let the clock run out here or maybe go for a final play here before the quarter ends.
Wind will be out there back for the fourth quarter, Jeff, so I wouldn't be surprised if Wesleyan packs it up and heads to the fourth, runs the third down play, and if it fails, shot at the field goal.
And that's what they're going to do. As the third quarter wraps up, here at homecoming at Able Stadium. An interesting one. Loras, though, regains the lead. They lead it 42-35.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in, and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
You're watching Prairie Wolves football on LNK TV Sports and the Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network.
Back here at Able Stadium here on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network as we begin the fourth quarter. Both teams hovering around 300 total yards. In fact, Loras at 327. Nebraska Wesleyan closing in on 300. They're at 291. And Loras with the slight advantage passing-wise, 248 to 201. But Wesleyan still leading in the rushing yards, 90 to 79. 3rd and 9. Taylor, 25-20, breaking free. And he's going to be flipped up and stopped at the 10-yard line of Loras. Shaka Taylor with a great afternoon today for Wesleyan.
Just cleared 100 yards for the 4th straight game, Jeff. And that continues a great day on 3rd down for Nebraska Wesleyan. The Prairie Wolves now 9 for 14 on 3rd down. And that time a great run by Taylor to push him over 100 yards for the 4th time in 5 games this year for Nebraska Wesleyan.
So this is a 1st and goal at the 10. Spreading it out. Curdy, long snap count. Taylor gets it, tries to cut back in, trying to force his way down, gets to the 6 and a 4-yard pickup, and that's about it.
Even there, stacked up immediately, but Taylor fights his way forward. I would love to see how many yards after contact he's gotten today, because so often he's had to stick his nose into the pile, and so often he has pushed it forward and picked up a few extra yards. And that's a big reason why Wesleyan's been able to move the ball today.
They'll spread it out again here on 2nd and goal from the 6. Here's Curdy, near side, into the back corner of the end zone. Curtis almost had it, but it's knocked away, incomplete. Riley Larson with great coverage on Derek Curtis.
They've been able to hit a couple of those fade routes in this game. You think of the 2-point try earlier to Bradley Pelkey. But that fade route so often is a low percentage play. Curtis trying to use his height advantage there over Larson. Just couldn't quite bring it down.
Third and goal. Curdy, far side, and he was looking for Pelkey. Pelkey thought he was being held up by coverage over there by Brendan Algrim. And this is going to bring up 4th down, and now the field goal unit's going to come out. And Jackson Hines, who today has hit a couple of extra points, he was 2 for 2 on field goal attempts, 3 for 3 entering today. Here's the field goal attempt, and it goes wide left, no good. So he does not stay perfect on the season. He goes 3 of 4 now on the year.
Ooh, that's a tough one to miss. 24 yards. That's usually easy money for a college kicker. And the fact that he missed that one in a big spot where, yes, it wouldn't have given Wesleyan the lead, but it would have at least drawn him to within 4. Instead, Wesleyan remains down by 7.
So, Loras will take over here with 13:39 to play.
Huge drive in this game. If Loras scores here, Wesleyan is in big trouble. If Wesleyan can hang on, that's another shot for the Prairie Wolf offense to tie this thing up.
A year ago, this game got so wild late Wesleyan, it was a good game, but Wesleyan won 51-27. Flag thrown, and the reception made by Castoro as he fights ahead to at least pick up a first down, but this might come back.
Looked like a hold there.
Alex Cruz and Tyler Serkis.
It is a holding penalty against Loras. But Wesleyan's defense needs to really step it up a notch.
10-yard penalty. Replay first down.
If you're holding one of those split the punt tickets, why don't you pull that ticket out of your pocket and take a look at it and call the winning number.
That's a drive-killing sort of penalty there, Jeff. I know it's only first down, but now 1st and 20 from your own 10. I mean, this is a long way for Loras to try and pick up a first down, and an even better opportunity for Wesleyan to put the clamps on him, get the ball back with good field position.
Here's Kelly to the near side. Schulte with a catch at the 31 and ran out of bounds by Huvendick. They're going to spot it around the 32.
Going to Schulte, their best receiver. Been pretty quiet today. That's only his 4th catch, but it's a big one there. Pushes him over 50 yards receiving today.
Kelly with a pump fake. Maloney with a grab around the 40, and he's brought down close to the 35. And now Loras is starting to kind of flex the muscle a little bit.
The play was set up by this pump fake toward Castoro in the left flat. And I think Wesleyan paused for just a moment thinking the ball was going out there, and that freed up Maloney deep down the left side for the big gain.
A big gain here. And Meagle is going to take it into the end zone for the touchdown on a 35-yard run.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's going to sting a little bit. 47-35, the point after coming up.
It's got to be so frustrating for Nebraska Wesleyan. You had 1st and 20 from their 10. And in just 3 plays, they dart down the field and score a touchdown to put you down by 2 scores. And now it feels like a long, long road ahead of Wesleyan, though there is plenty of time left here in the 4th quarter.
Point after is up from Quigley, and it is good. And with 12:44 to go, it is 49-35. Loras ahead of Nebraska Wesleyan on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network on LNK TV.
Hi, I'm Ryan with LES's Save Money, Saving Energy, and I wanted to share a hot tip about keeping warm in the wintertime. Instead of turning up your thermostat, turn on a portable space heater. After all, why heat your whole house when you only want the room you're in to be warm and toasty? Oh, that's too toasty. Don't touch that, Gracie. For more energy-saving tips like this, visit us at les.com or do a search for LES Video Vault on YouTube. We'll see you next time.
49-35, as you see, Loras College ahead, and Nebraska Wesleyan, boy, that stung.
Yeah, officially a 3-play, 80-yard drive in under a minute. And you think of the momentum in this game, that drive started out with the missed field goal by Nebraska Wesleyan. Loras commits a penalty, but then 2 big passes and then a 35-yard touchdown run for the Dewhawks. And all of a sudden, Wesleyan down 2 scores here in the 4th quarter. Feels like a big hill to climb for the Prairie Wolves.
But you got 12 minutes and 44 seconds to work with as Garris Carr on the return gets up to about the 22-yard line. That's where the Prairie Wolves will begin their next drive. So you don't want to completely rule out anything just yet. But again, you're down 2 touchdowns with 12:38 to spare. And I think in order for this to kind of turn around, you got to put together a couple of quick, solid drives.
But I still think Wesleyan has their whole playbook available to them. There's no reason to abandon the run.
No, not at all. Or even completely do away with the passing game, although Bryce Darner could not complete what looked like an easy grab. So I'll bring up 2nd and 10 from the 22.
It's been a quiet day for Darner, who came in as Wesleyan's leading receiver, 14 catches on the year for 296 yards, and today only 1 catch for 6. So they've not gotten the production out of him that they were hoping for.
But other guys like Pelkey have stepped up. Myers in motion. Curdy, he's going to run with it. And he'll slide in, take a hit at about the 28. He gets about 6 on the pickup.
Curdy's shown good mobility. As we said, he's not thrown all that well on the run, but he has been able to evade sacks and at least lessen the impact of the pass rush by Loras. And there, not only does he evade a sack, but he's also able to pick up positive yards and make this a little more manageable 3rd down.
12 minutes to go, 3rd and 5. 2 splits to the top of your screen, 1 on the bottom. Not necessarily in the shot. There he is there. Curdy scrambling in the pocket. Being pursued. He's going to keep it. He's going to run for it and gets the 1st down. And in a situation like that, Nate, you almost have to have good vision upfield to look up and see, you know what, I don't have anybody open or at least line of sight, but I do have an opening. I'm going to try to run for the corner and get the 1st down. That's just great improvising on the part of Jonathan Curdy. And I think that's what's really made him such a standout quarterback for this football team.
Yeah, he has shown good improvisational skills. He was able to pick up that 1st down and get out of bounds. And like we said, there's plenty of time, but you have to start kind of thinking about the clock. So good stuff there from Curdy, the quarterback.
Curdy going to air it out, looking for Curtis near side. Curtis with the catch! And a 1st down. They're going to mark him at the 25, but they're going to say, no, he was out of bounds.
Oh, if only he had held on to it. Curtis coming down this left sideline. He's been the big play guy for Wesleyan here in the 2nd half.
Watch this again.
And ball came out right there.
Oh, man. And the Wesleyan fans, they see it on the replay board on the big screen, and they're not happy about it at all.
As Taylor running with it.
And even the coaching staff down on the sidelines pointing toward the big screen. But as you know, Nate, at this level of college football, there's no replay rule. Watch it again. Now they're going to replay it on the screen. Take a look at this again.
Has it there.
It looked like he had it.
It came loose.
He did come loose.
Like the ball was moving as he hit the ground and kind of came loose. And not that you have to stand up with the football, but it looked like he had lost control when he hit the ground. And, of course, you have to control it through the ground.
Blood's being shown. Curdy. Pursuit is on, and he is taken down for a loss of yards. And it's Mark Tilkes who comes in and makes the stop. The linebacker coming in on the blitz and takes Curdy down for a loss of yards, and that's really going to hurt Wesleyan's chances.
Yeah, that feels like a dagger right there with 10 minutes to go. The drive had started to move upfield, but the big sack there, and now not only is Loras getting it back, but they're getting it with good field position, and Wesleyan unable to put points on the board, already down 2 scores, and Loras with an opportunity to close it out on this drive.
Here's the punt off the side of the foot of Hines. Bounces around the 50, and it's going to go out of bounds at the 44. But the referee said 45-yard line. That's where they'll put the football. So with 9:36, Loras College with a 2-touchdown lead and the momentum. They have certainly really responded. They have gained that momentum back when Wesleyan threw a couple of jabs at them. Even took that lead briefly in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, Loras has done a terrific job of responding ever since.
They scored 3 unanswered touchdowns in this second half. And the carry up to about the 50-yard line. That's Cloward again who gets the carry. Pickup of 5 for him right at the 50. Second down here and 5 for the Dewhawks.
We're going to see a pretty heavy dose of Cloward the rest of the way for Loras as they try to milk this clock, and that big offensive line pushes back Wesleyan.
And it's Cloward again who gets the carry, and it's a barrage of Prairie Wolves over there. Bricker was over there. A few others were there in the neighborhood too. And no gain, it looks like, still at the 50. So
huge third down here, Jeff. They need to make this a 3-and-out and get the ball back quickly.
Stand corrected. It was a pickup of about 2 to the 48 of Wesleyan. 3rd and about 3. Blitz shown. Far side, downfield. Maloney could not dive and make the grab. Good coverage by Heath Uvendick.
Wesleyan sold out there to try and make sure that was an incomplete pass. Mission accomplished. The blitz forced the early throw by Kelly. He couldn't quite hook up with Maloney, and the Wesleyan will get it with poor field position. They get it, still with a good amount of time, still only down by 2 scores.
And now punt formation for Loras. Garris Carr back around the 11 or 12-yard line. Make that Brant Barth. Barth dropped the ball, and Loras gets it back. Chris Miller jumped on top of it. And it's going to be at the Prairie Wolf 21-yard line. Brant Barth could not field the punt.
Oof. That is devastating.
That's tough.
Seemed as if he was looking upfield as opposed to looking the ball into his hands, and as a result, ball popped out right into the hands of Miller, and now Loras with an opportunity for a dagger touchdown right here.
And I think you hit it right there on the head. That's what they're looking to do. As Cloward gets the carry and runs into Eli Bricker.
And at this point, you have to hold to 3, but you'd really like to take the ball away.
Well, next week's opponent for Wesleyan is Luther College. They were in action today up at Buena Vista and Storm Lake in northwestern Iowa as Kelly goes into the end zone, and it's Broughton who knocks the ball away from Schulte. Good coverage downfield. But Luther, in the conference standings, they're 2-1 overall. They're 1-0 in conference play entering today. And looks like what appears to be a winnable game at Buena Vista, but Buena Vista, a team that comes in at 2-2 and 1-1 in conference play. But Luther is the next week opponent for Nebraska Wesleyan. That'll be at Decorah, Iowa. And then 2 weeks from today, back here in Lincoln against Dubuque. Swing in the flat. Cloward cuts back in at the 20. And taken down on that play that time by Jake Bustamante out of Sterling, Colorado. I'll bring up 4th down here for the Wolves, or for the Dewhawks in Prairie Wolf territory with 7.5 minutes to go. And time is of the essence if you're Wesleyan. For Loras, they're just trying to take their time.
They're going to duck behind this big offensive line and pick up this important 4th down. Although the play clock's running down, they may just take the timeout here.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the timeout, and that's what they're going to do. So timeout with just over 7 minutes to go. And Loras College deep in Wesleyan territory on 4th down with a 2-touchdown lead at 49-35.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. the bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences. Designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University, NWU.
49-35. Loras College ahead of Nebraska Wesleyan. Late fourth quarter here. Jeff Moats, Nate Rohr with you on LNK TV through the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network.
Huge snap here.
Fourth and 2. And Kelly going to look to the far corner. Sliding in. No. Incomplete. Dakota Buss with great coverage. Castoro was the intended receiver. And now Wesleyan will get the football back on downs. 6:55 to go, but the Wesleyan offense now has to go against the clock to try and rally back into this game. You're down 2 touchdowns. Not saying it's impossible.
And do you think you have to run up tempo? I don't know that you have to abandon the run game.
Pump fake here by Curdy. He's in trouble. Short toss. Arlie Myers gets it about the 21. He moves ahead to about the 23.
Main thing is just get on the ball as quickly as you can. It looks like Wesleyan is doing that. Give yourself a chance at 2 possessions to try and tie this thing up.
2nd and 1. And Curdy rolling right. He's just going to run it out, and that's what he does. He'll run out of bounds and get the first down. That'll move the yard markers up.
Smart decision there, nothing downfield. You get the double whammy of a new set of downs and the clock stopping because you went out of bounds.
Here's Curdy to Taylor. Taylor through the middle, gets the first down, still on his feet, tackled around the 40-yard line. They'll give him a yard up to the 41.
Did you see that? He was wrapped up. He was brought almost to the ground, but he realized that he was laying on the defender, so he was able to lean forward and pick up an extra.
No huddle here. They'll line up. Curdy over the middle. Oh, incomplete. Pass intended. Right over the middle that time for Braley Keller, the sophomore from Lincoln Northeast and the son of head coach Brian Keller.
When they go back to watch the film of this game, Jonathan Curdy might have some curt words for his wide receivers. About 5 drops today.
Shaka Taylor with a carry right up to the 50, just short of the first down, close to the 49. It's close. I don't think, no.
Flag on the play.
Yeah, let's find out. Did not see the yellow hanky there, but it's around the 45. Probably coming back. Holding penalty against Nebraska Wesleyan. It will come back.
Holding. Number 74, offense. 10 yards from the spot of the foul. Repeat, 2nd down.
Joey Mueller again picked up for a penalty.
Fourth penalty of the day on the Prairie Wolves for 40 yards. Though Wesleyan's held up okay, they haven't played the cleanest game. 2 interceptions, plus a fumble, plus the aforementioned penalties.
And over the middle, it's Keller who gets it. And up the near side, he's going to be forced out of bounds. They're going to say he went out at the 48. So Braley Keller with a nice little pickup.
Downfield, it was Shaka Taylor blocking for him. So Taylor doing it all today for Wesleyan.
3rd and short. Taylor tries to go through the middle, and they're going to force him back. He gets to about the 50. He's about a yard short, 4th and a yard to go, at least a yard.
He has to clear the 49, or at least advance the front nose of the football past the 49, pick up the 4th down. Game on the line here with 4th and 1.
You hit it right there, Nate. Curdy looking to throw near side. Taylor makes the grab at the 29, and he's going to be brought down. They're going to spot him at the 27 of Loras.
What a grab. Curdy just flung it up there in double coverage, hoping that Taylor would be able to bring it down, and believe it or not, he was able to go up and snag it. Taylor laying on the turf right now. That's bad news, as he may be cramping in that right leg. They need him out there pronto, and that cramp might take some time to work out. But Taylor has done everything today for Nebraska Wesleyan, and his absence right now in this big moment is notable.
Spread offense, 2 receivers each side. Curdy in the pocket, looking to the near side for Curtis, into the end zone. Touchdown, Nebraska Wesleyan, and Derek Curtis with the reception. "27-yard toss from Curdy to Derek Curtis, the former Northeast Rocket." Watch this again.
Curtis able to win the man-to-man battle with Riley Larson near the goal line. Pull that thing in. And Nebraska Wesleyan right back into this game with under 5 minutes to play. An impressive drive, 2 big passes. First to keep it alive, and then to score the touchdown. And with the extra point, Wesleyan back to within 7. Now the defense must step up for the Prairie Wolves.
And there you see Derek Curtis all pumped up there on the sideline. Less than 5 minutes to go. Wesleyan within 7 of the Dewhawks.
When you're out to make a difference in the world, begin by exploring what inspires you at Nebraska Wesleyan University. The bridge between you and meaningful, unforgettable experiences. Designed from personal attention to internships to translate into success in your career and life. A place of powerful learning designed to explore you, discover you, propel you. Nebraska Wesleyan University. NWU.
49-42. Nebraska Wesleyan down 7 here to Loras College. This has been a scoring fest. And if you were to just tune in and look at the scoreboard, you think, is this a basketball game by the way the totals are mounting up? Both of these teams have been getting up and down the field. But the advantage and the momentum has been with Loras here for at least a good portion of this quarter and then the last half of the third quarter. Hines with the end-over-end kick. Ollie gets it at the goal line. Up to the 10, to the 20. Past the 25, still on his feet, and finally stopped at about the 30-yard line. Now the Wesleyan defense comes out, and this is a big series for them.
No question about it. They need to come up with a 3-and-out here. You have to imagine that Loras will be fairly conservative with their play calling. They're going to put the ball in the hands of Ike Cloward and Cody Miguel.
Number 91 of the kicking team.
So an offside penalty going to go against Nebraska Wesleyan.
That's bad news, because even if Wesleyan is able to mount up defensively,
will be tacked on at the end of the run. First down, Loras.
even if they're able to mount up defensively, get the 3-and-out, the better Loras field position is, the worse Nebraska Wesleyans will be when they get the ball back. Every little bit helps when you need a touchdown late.
So they'll spread it out, at least here to the right side of the field. And a short gain of about 1 up to the 36. And And it's Cloward who gets the carry.
Cloward carries the ball.
Wesleyan won't use their timeouts on this series of downs. I imagine if Loras picks up a first down here, they will on the next series of downs. Wesleyan hoping it doesn't come to that.
2nd and 9. And a short carry. 2 on the play that time for Cloward. Right there at that point of attack, Nate, is where Newgard and those guys on that Wesleyan defense got to.
This time he's stood ball by Eli Bricker and Andrew Stolpe.
9 tackles today for Newgard. He's been all over the field today for Nebraska Wesleyan. Now a critical 3rd and 7. I imagine Loras will keep it on the ground here to try and keep that clock moving. They can take it to under 3 minutes to go if they simply run it, don't pick up any yardage here.
Big 3rd down here with 3:34 to go. Kelly, far side, and it's Schulte who catches the ball, gets the first down at the 48-yard line, still in Loras territory.
Tackled by Heath Huvendale.
Now the clock is on the side of Loras. They can take their time, again, grind this thing out, and hold on for the win.
Just a hitch route over there on the far side by Schulte to beat Huvendijk, and that made it an easy completion for Kelly. So they picked up a big first down here. Kelly now 19 out of 36 for 321 yards and a touchdown and a pick.
And a quick handoff to Cloward, Tyler Sorensen, Newgard, and Bednar was over there, and timeout going to be taken by Nebraska Wesleyan, 2:50 to go. And Loras leads by 7 with under 3 minutes to go here at Able Stadium.
Is your next house the place you can call home? Are you saving enough for your next phase in life? Is your next car the one she'll drive to college one day? What's next for you is important to us. At Union Bank, we've made dreams a reality for 100 years, and we're celebrating by looking at what's next for you. So stop in and we'll show you how we can help. Just like we've done for the last 100 years, and like we'll keep doing for the next 100.
Jeff Moats, Nate Rohr, and the rest of our Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew with you this afternoon from Able Stadium in Lincoln. And it's been a good ball game. It's been an up and down game, kind of a shootout. Wesleyan had a lead one time at 35-28. But Loras has bounced back, and they're holding on by a thread with about 2:50 to go. Jet sweep, far side. Castoro gets out of a tackle, ran out of bounds by Bednar on the far side.
I question that play call there, Jeff. A jet sweep into the short side of the field, and your guy getting run out of bounds.
And it looks like a timeout taken. Now the Wesleyan coaching staff, they didn't think the ball went out of bounds when the stop was made. Now those are some of the assistant coaches on the field for Wesleyan. Head coach Brian Keller is up here in the booth.
In their 3rd and final, we need 2:42 on the game clock. 2:42, please.
So this is the final timeout taken by Nebraska Wesleyan. And now you're out of timeouts with 2:42 to spare. So if you get the ball back, you got to work against the fact that you have very little time remaining, plus you have no timeouts left.
And so I think that informs Loras' play call. They'll run the ball here on 3rd down and 9, not really caring whether or not they get the first down. The big item here for them is that you're able to run 30 seconds off the clock. That gets you down to about 2:12. You punt it. So Wesleyan realistically will have 2 minutes to go in the game, and they'll be very deep in their own territory unless they're able to block Quigley's kick. All of that, probably the best case scenario, unless they're able to block the punt.
So a big third down here for Loras. 49-42. Loras trying to avenge that 51-27 loss a year ago here in Lincoln. Near side. Schulte with a grab. Myers wraps him up. And it looks like it's enough for a first down. Let's see where they put the ball.
The official on the near side.
It's short.
It is just barely short then. Looked like it was just shy. It did stay in bounds though. It is 4th down and 1.
Now, if Loras converts on this play to sustain the drive, and with the clock where it's at now, they're going to run this clock out and hold on for the win. So this is the ball game right here. And now timeout called by Loras with 1:58 to go.
You know what, Jeff? I'm surprised they called a timeout in that spot, because even as confused as things appeared for Loras, why don't you just run the play clock down and then with 2 or 1, call a timeout?
Well, that's a good question. But again, I mean, there's a reason why we're up here and we're not down there.
I suppose.
I mean, there's a method to the madness, I suppose, in a situation like this. And at this juncture, it all comes down to strategy. Football can be a simple game. It can be a difficult game to understand. A lot of mind games involved. So Loras will burn the timeout. They got 1 left. Wesleyan is out of timeouts with 1:58 left here in this game. And I would imagine some of the homecoming folks today have been entertained to a pretty good football game regardless of what the score ends up being. You saw a Wesleyan team who, I can tell you this, Nate, in 3 games that I've seen so far this season, including today, this is the best I've seen them play. Big 4th down in the pistol setup. Cloward, and he's stopped, and it's Bricker who comes through. Wow.
What a job by Bricker, who has been all over the field today.
Well, now this has turned the tide slightly. As you see the replay, Bricker with the big hit on Cloward. Now, with 1:55 left, Nebraska Wesleyan is about 64 yards away, or roughly 64 yards away. Now, just under that, I take that back. Pass incomplete. Looking for, looked like Darner upfield on that play, 1:50 to go. But anyway,
56 yards.
56 yards, thank you very much. But you got 56 yards to work with. You got 1:50 to go on the game clock. Curdy in the pocket. He is hesitating. He eludes a tackle, backs up in the pocket. He finds Hines at the 50, and Hines is finally tripped up and knocked out of bounds at the Loras 48-yard line. The clock will stop since he ran out of bounds.
Going for it on that 4th down gave Wesleyan great field position. I'm a little surprised. Punt that thing, and they've got 99 yards to go with no timeouts.
Here's Taylor. Gets the carry, breaks free, flag thrown. This may come back. This is probably going to be a block in the back or a hold. And it's going to come back.
That's a shame.
On the field.
Colton Davis might have been the guy that committed the holding. Let's see. It is a holding penalty against Nebraska Wesleyan.
Offense, number 74, 10 yards.
No.
Penalty. Repeat, 3rd down.
That's the 3rd penalty this afternoon committed by Joey Mueller of Wesleyan. So it was not against Colton Davis. Watch the hold right about there.
Yeah, right at the point of attack, and it was an important hold, but it's a costly hold.
Big third down. Curdy in the pocket. Short toss, complete to Skurjanik. Gets up to the 48. So now fourth down. This is the ball game right here with 1:11 on the clock and counting. The ball game. Curdy looking. He's got somebody open. Now he scrambles. He's going to run with it. He'll lob it downfield, and it's overthrown toward Ollie Myers, incomplete, and Loras is going to hold on. So close.
Boy, Curdy did everything he could do to try and stay alive, get new life back there in the pocket.
Watch this again.
But in the end, the pass just a little too long. He had a man wide open, and if he was able to hit him, that could have been a significant gain. They are attending to an injured Loras defender with 54 seconds to go. But barring a fumbled snap, this thing's over, and it belongs to the Dewhawks.
Now, it very tough to swallow. If you're on the side of the brown, black, and gold, Nebraska Wesleyan put up a great effort. And despite the penalties, despite the turnovers, it was such a great effort this afternoon. But we got an injured player on the field for Loras College, and they're going to help that young man up. Is it Brian Gillis?
Maybe.
That's down on the field. I'm not sure. He's sitting up. He must have taken quite a shot, Nate.
I think that was the case as Curdy was winding his way around the backfield, trying to stay alive, and he must have gotten whacked on one of those crackback blocks as the quarterback, Curdy, scrambled around to stay alive.
Now, there is an injury timeout here. We got 57.4 seconds to go. And they're going to help him up. It's not Gillis. So we'll take a look at our roster.
Jabari James Turner Smith, the defensive end, the man being helped off.
Yep, he's going to be helped off. But now, Loras has to probably take at least one knee, maybe two, to run out this clock and end it. And if you're Nebraska Wesleyan, this is tough to swallow. Simply because you had your chances, you had your opportunities, your chances to capitalize, and you come up short. But we saw some great play today. We saw a lot of great plays made by the offense and the defense. Victory formation here being set up. And Kelly will take a knee. And the clock will wind down. The play clock, there's about a 13-second differential between the play clock and the game clock. So next week it's Luther over in Decorah, Iowa next Saturday. And then 2 weeks from today, we're back here in Lincoln on the Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network when the University of Dubuque comes to Lincoln. We'll have coverage of that here on LNK TV. Down to the final 30 seconds, victory formation, and a knee taken, and that's going to do it. So the final score here on Nebraska Wesleyan's homecoming and Hall of Fame Day is Loras College 49, Nebraska Wesleyan 42. The Prairie Wolves are now 0-5, and it's been a long time since they started 0-5. They were 0-4. The last time they were 0-4 was 1977. Now they're down to 0-5 on the campaign. The final from Able Stadium, Nebraska Wesleyan falls in defeat this afternoon as Loras College wins 49-42. For our entire Nebraska Wesleyan Sports Network crew, along with Nate Rohr, I'm Jeff Moats. Thanks along. Thanks for watching. Good afternoon from Able Stadium in Lincoln.
Today's Nebraska Wesleyan University Sports Network broadcast was made possible by Lincoln Electric System. It's your electricity. Own it. Union Bank. You belong here. And Nebraska Wesleyan University.